you and they left you. How can they be casually cruel?
There we go. That would help. Oh, I gotta get rid of. There we go. Raymond Helfrich, how are you? I gotta get rid of the copyright infringement. I'm watching a video 2014 of Saint Vincent, who I love, but I can't have that. I can't have that going on. All right, let's get set here. How are you, folks? Raymond Helfrich. A proper greeting is in order. What's up, my friend? Good to see your, I was going to say your smiling face, but yeah, I can see your smiling face on your avatar. Your birthday is in 3 days. Wow. That is fantastic. I love that, YouTube just tells you when there's cool shit. Let's see, what's this? Todd Rundgren doing Zen Archer. The algorithm is incredible, actually. A lot of people complain about the algorithm. I love it. I don't live my life by it, but it's kind of perfect when I get things like this. Todd doing Zen Archer. A couple years ago, I guess he was doing the complete Wizard album. Okay, we'll look at that later. But yeah, YouTube just says, hey, this is, we think you'd like this weird review of a new piece of equipment. All right. Steve Hershey, how are you, my friend? I saw you a little earlier because I was watching some of your video content, which I love. Always learn something there. And Saul Zanana was on. That's pretty cool. I'll have to catch that interview a little later on. Let's go and make sure we got questions and make sure I can see my Facebook questions. Steve Hershey with the controversial. As soon as I saw the word controversial, I said, "Oh, let's check that out." How are you today, Steve Hershey? Let's see. All right, let's go back to my. Here it is. All right. My questions, my comments, I should say. And I can never. There we go. So, hey, Steve Hershey. Hey, Sharon Lynn Baker. Hey, Raymond again. You got you need an algorithm lover to manage my algorithms who won't drive you crazy. Very good, and that's of course John Cougar Melonhead. And but Pat Benatar is where I heard it too. That song, great song. This useless information I have. But I am finally starting to make a small living on useless information. It's great. I can, talk about who's on this album and who claims they were influenced by who and then things like that. So I'm doing that. By the way, I forget to give these plugs. I have my Patreon situation going on. That's what I do most of the week, folks. I'm playing music every day. I'm in my studio and, we've got lots of old 80s equipment that no one cares about let's take a look. There you go. Here's stuff that no one really cares about that you can find in used music stores, and I always do, for God, so little. $30, $50 for stuff that was $1,500 in 1989. I love it. It's like a golden era. Anyway, I'm making music most days, and I have a couple students, and but I'm doing my Patreon thing now, which is really fun, and it's an instructive way for me to really get a whole new discipline happening. So I'm gonna put that up there. Let me spell it right. How do you spell my name? There's no T in there. What is my Patreon? Well, if you go to the link, you can check it out. It's basically a way that people can directly support artists, and they're doing it. There are sculptors and writers and various musicians, music teachers, music performers, people who play the ukulele, and they have people who say, I like that person. I want to put a couple bucks in their tip jar. And so on that level, I have nearly 36 friends and patrons who I thank deeply, who are supporting me at a various levels. $5 is the base level, and you get workshops, you get a couple performances. I'm about to go back to my Sunday acoustic performances. I might make it another day. It turns out Sunday in the summers is not the greatest day. But I do electronic music performance every Friday night. I do a workshop every Saturday. That gets pretty in depth. It's about an hour and a half workshop tied into my performance the night before. So I talk about techniques, what was I using, what kind of equipment, what kind of oscillator was the star of the show, was I using looping, was I using samples and bit crushing, was I using FM synthesis, formant synthesis, was I sampling my own voice, whatever it is. We on Saturday nights we do that. That's for the small amount of nerds and producers and engineers and just musicians and creative people who want to learn a little bit more about synthesizers. So we talk about the history. We go back to 1896, where it starts with the telharmonium, where it starts for humans. We go back even further to talk about birds and the kind of oscillation and filtering birds have been doing for several million years. So there's a bunch of fun stuff on my Patreon. I'm just kind of running through some random things. I also do a live book writing on Tuesday nights. I've been writing my book for quite some time, and I've been writing it with talk text, and I do that live on Tuesday nights. And literally, we have on the screen my book, and you see the words as I'm speaking hitting the screen, and I'm editing live, and so it's just different fun things. I look around, and almost anything you can imagine, someone's doing on Patreon. There are cooks and chefs, and we're about to have a really great guest in just a minute, Laura Dardi. She's here to catch us up to what she's been doing and talk about some great, easy, plant-based recipes and some summer ideas and some summer things. So Laura is going to be our guest in just a minute. Commentary, controversy, chit-chat, just like the King Crimson song from 40 years it's going to be. How can that be? But there I was 16, and so were some of you. But it's all good. Time is a construct. It seems like yesterday. So again, Laura's going to come on in a minute, and there's chefs on Patreon. There are workout instructors and novelists and gardeners. And I mean, it's amazing. And I scan around the amount of things that are on there. People doing tutorials on any subject really that humans are interested in, and especially in the pandemic, they have found this as a new way, as one of their ways to make a living, and it goes back to the 1800s when all those composers had patrons, right? They had, whether it was Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn, Handel, Vivaldi, all those people, European orchestral composers. They had kings and queens and dukes and duchesses, and the church would pay them, and lords and ladies, all the moneyed folks in a society would just pay these composers to write music for them. So anyway, that's what it's all about. I always forget to bring that up, and I'll put that and my other things in here. Celine is here. Raymond Helford's just kicking me lyrics. Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking into the future. See, just throw them to me, man. I'll lob them back. Oh man, you got me there. I don't know the sculpture lyrics though. Um, uh, let's see. Okay, great. So just wanted to see if there's any. Someone just told me I like forced vaccinations. I love that. That's great. uh, well, for the record, folks, I'm not for forced anything. Um, it's hilarious what people come up with. But we'll come back to that. We'll do that after Laura's little chunk of time. Right now, it's about Laura Dardi. So I'm going to bring her in. And Laura Dardi, who is let me just fix this. I met Laura decades ago. We actually went to the same high school. But I barely knew her there. Really, I can't say we go back that far. But I met her again in the 90s, and my late partner Sherry and I opened a natural food store in Red Bank, New Jersey, which was incredible and life-changing. It's the impact of that decade are a daily thing for me. And I met some amazing people and some amazing creative people. But one of the most creative ones was Laura Dardi, who you're going to meet in a minute. She is a chef. She became a mom soon after we opened up, of two wonderful boys, two creative boys who are also plant-based, and they're both cooks and chefs, and one of them makes films and all this animation stuff. But she is well known in that area and around the tri-state New York area as a caterer, a chef, a teacher, instructor. She has worked in countless homes and in schools and everything you can imagine, summer camps, catering weddings, and every event you would want to think, parties, for 12 people, for 170 people, for more. I actually worked with her once. She was one of the caterers at a PETA event in New York City. I'll never forget that. So all kinds of things that we're going to get into, but just to give a quick snapshot of this woman's done some amazing stuff. I'll shut up now and we'll bring her onto the floor. We're doing live production here, so we're going to see her pop in, and we're going to get the mic levels and all that stuff live. So here we go. Let's see. She should be here. Let's see. Hey, Laura, can you hear me? If you can hear me, raise your hand, and I won't see you. No, you got. Let's see. Laura's got to turn her video on. So okay. So we'll keep riffing. She has been a chef too to some amazing rock and roll people. People in the music world. She's been a personal chef. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and she's done a lot of traveling as a personal chef. And right now she's doing, she's got her business doing pastry, plant-based pastry, and other catering she does in the Central Jersey area and New York City. Let's see. She's having maybe some connection issue. Let's see. All right, that's all good. And for years, she's worked at restaurants in New York City. Some of the great restaurants, which we'll go over a couple of them, but things like Suen and some of the other
Does this mean I'm
macrobiotic
here now?
restaurants.
How do I get up here?
Hey, there you are. I can hear you.
Yeah,
But,
Dre, I'm trying to get the visual.
Okay, great sound. Actually, it sounds awesome.
Okay,
So,
good.
And somewhere in there on the Zoom,
Josh, can you come here a minute, please?
your video is just off at the moment. But
Joshua, I need you. Stat. Sorry, Dre. I got Josh here today. He'll get
that's
it.
awesome. Well, that gives you some technical expertise from a
Spaghetti
millennial.
Jesus.
Is he even a millennial? He's the next. What's it? Gen Z.
He's after the millennials. He's not a millennial.
Yeah. What does millennial mean again?
I
Came
have
of
no
age in the first decade of.
Why don't you
2000?
have
I don't
any
know.
video?
I don't know.
Your phone night.
No, I don't.
Like any millennial, he's like, "Mom,
Have
what
to
are you
see.
doing?" This is.
Okay.
Hang on, Dre.
Oh wait, where are we? What is going
Go
on
back.
here? No, I have
Let's
to
do
like.
some film noir.
Oh, there we go.
I'll mess with the people while I'm
Okay, hey.
waiting. Hey, how are you?
Cheers.
I was just gonna entertain.
You opened your eyes.
I was gonna entertain the masses. They've really gotten good at these things. They really do line up
I want to clean your.
on your face
I don't
properly.
really. Use a tissue.
It looks.
Here. Oh, he says it's smudgy. He wants to clean up the screen.
Okay, yeah, no. Let's do a little production while he's here. And
Okay.
What's up, Josh?
Just life. I got my wisdom teeth out like less than a week ago.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you know what, Mom? We should get you. We're gonna get you headphones so your voice isn't like.
Echoing back. I have headphones. I just
yeah.
gotta-
Okay, yeah. You all settle in. It sounds great on this end, so we can.
I'm fine
yeah.
with it. I don't mind.
Okay.
If
We're
I'm
good.
not bothered.
Okay, just make sure.
Let's
Awesome.
just do it. I can't deal with a headset
Just
right now.
make sure you guys give yourselves like a
second in between.
so that the feedback. Can,
The
like,
feedback
clear.
can clear.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you're comfortable, I am. Let's see.
I'm very.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Josh, for
Trey said
Jumping
thank
in.
you, Josh.
and doing. Let's see. Can't find that. All right. Well, I think we're up and running.
Yeah.
So, hey, Laura, how are you? Long time.
I'm good. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you. And I say long time, and I was just introducing you to the folks. And folks, you met Laura. Those of you who've been longtime viewers of my show, which I gotta check the thing. I think I'm more than a year in
I was
to doing
the
this
first
now.
one. I was
That's
the
right.
first one.
Do you remember the date on that?
I have it somewhere.
Is it what month?
Yeah. it's
July,
about-
August, or
Yeah.
okay,
I think it's July.
sometime around now, right?
It was hot. I know that.
Yeah, right. So let's see. Okay. Well, it's great to see you, and then hope you're dealing with the heat. Okay. We've
Yeah,
got
air conditioning.
you got some air conditioning happening, and you got some gardening happening, which we're going to talk about that as well.
Definitely.
What's Oh My Pie? That's
I started a little company during COVID to bring warm pies out of my oven on my bicycle to people. I really started it just to do something nice, not for any like monetary reasons.
right.
To start like a movement, like I give you a pie, then you go help somebody. And it started because I needed help with my bicycle, like my flats. So a friend came over. I'll give him a shout out. But the Garcia family here in Red Bank. He came over and helped me and fixed the flats on my bike. And I said, I'm going to make you and Jen a pie.
Okay.
And it kind of went full circle because they opened up Bamboo Marketing here, and I did their opening for their firm when they opened here in Red Bank. Like, oh gosh, it's a while ago. Less than a decade, but more than 7 years, maybe
Okay.
8 years. And so he came and fixed the flats on my bike, and then the next day I got some peaches and I made a peach pie and I brought it to their house and put it on the porch and left it with a note and said, "Thank you for fixing my bike."
Sorry. Let me.
I don't have any audio whatsoever, Josh. Yeah. Andre's mouth.
I muted myself. Yeah.
Oh,
just
okay.
to-
I didn't know you did that.
I just wanted to see if we could solve the echo. People are hearing echoes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's gonna need headphones. Hold on.
I'm gonna headset it.
Where are your headsets, Mom?
I should have a pair right there. I don't know. I didn't have them last night, so I don't know. Look over there, right there.
God.
No, Andre, I'm gonna go off for 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. We'll stand by. Thanks, folks, for being patient on some technical issues. You know, we're just having fun. Celine, how are you? Celine Dora Gundarin. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. How are you, Celine? Because you are a recent, putting your toe in the water and trying to increase your plant-based life. Talk to us about that. This is a perfect day to be here because you've got this amazing chef who loves to share her knowledge and her amazing creativity. So good day to be here, Celine. So tell me how you're doing. I'm going to go to a full page so I can see all your wonderful comments. So I just put the link up there. Oops. There we go. I put the link up there for y'all. What the world needs now is love. Yeah, that's great. That's a great sentiment. Raymond. I wonder though. Yeah, some people don't want it. That's the thing. Yes, for those of us who are looking for love and looking for understanding and cooperation. It's funny though. A bunch of people don't. So what do? Just cross the street, right? All right. I will show up to your cocktail parties, Raymond, once we can do that. Benny Rodriguez, what's up, my friend? Let's see. Forced mirth. There's some funny comments today. How do we know Bill Gates and the Koch brothers aren't funding me? That's true, but you're so right, Bassam, as you always are about conspiracies. Bassam, have you seen this new conspiracy that the 1920 pandemic was faked? I'm serious. The Rockefellers did it, and they had fake things. So let's come back to that. Okay, good. Looks like Laura's plugged in. Let me go back now. Pio Mai, isn't that's the horse on The Sopranos. So Laura, just unmute. There
I
we
did.
go. Awesome. Perfect. Is that better, folks? And
Hello.
So tra!
1, 2.
Raymond Helfers is requesting a tra! for Benny Rodriguez. Our friend Benny Rodriguez. That's is that a sobriquet? Is that what the word for that is? Anyway, we're back and we got our technical stuff out of the way. Okay, awesome. Back to Laura Dardi, our intrepid chef. And actually, you've probably never cooked on the Intrepid, but you've done almost everything else. We started out with what you're doing right now, and Pie Oh My, you were explaining.
No, it's actually Oh My Pie.
Oh my, sorry. You see that? I messed myself up. I'm talking about The Sopranos, where Pie Oh My, that's the horse that Tony Soprano had.
I know.
Sorry. So
That's okay. It's cool.
So tell us. So you just started this as a thank you, right?
A nice project. To be nice.
Yeah.
Not really for money, just to get some fresh fruit pies out to people during the pandemic to cheer them up a bit. And get some done. Community service, like, you need your lawn mowed. Okay, good. This one's going to come and you're going to get a pie for that.
That's great. And what a reminder that that's where it starts, right? Community, people just doing stuff for each other, and
It was cool. It didn't happen a real lot because then I started the other project, which was also turned out to be not for monetary reasons, which is the Post Dot Market, zero to no waste. Having farmers deliver direct to your door. I don't have anything.
yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
we're still getting feedback. I'm just gonna figure this out, see what's going on here. Something is. Say something, Laura.
Hi, John. Andre, what are you doing? Andre. I'm getting it.
Hmm. You're getting a feedback.
Should I? Yeah. How could I get rid of the feedback, Josh?
Um,
Maybe if I don't have anything plugged?
No,
There
you.
shouldn't even be feedback.
There is some.
How
Is
is there
the
Come here.
are your speakers off?
Are my speakers off?
Yeah, but the thing is, Mom, like you've headphones in, so there shouldn't even. It might be on his end too.
Okay. He thinks it could be on your end because I have headphones on.
Yeah,
These speakers that are outputting the audio, Andre.
Do you have
yeah.
out?
Let me.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Let's see.
Is there a way to check that if I have any on, Josh?
It's probably on my end though. I have all these
Everything should
other
just be.
inputs
If you can
happening
hear him, that means all the audio is going through there. So
Oh, okay.
I don't
I
know
think-
how it
Let's see.
would.
I think I just got rid of it.
otherwise.
I
Okay.
turned off.
Oh, yeah. I don't hear it now.
Is it gone?
Yeah, I don't hear it.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, good. We got it. It
Perfect.
was on my end. Folks, I'm sorry. I've got so many different
Gadgets.
pathways to audio here that I leave something on by accident once a week. It's what I do. Okay, great. Let me turn that off. So, okay, Celine, thanks for saying that. Yeah, that's
Wait,
right.
can I
Silver Ted
say
is the person's
something
nickname.
to Celine
Please,
real
please,
quick?
please.
Yeah, Celine, I still need to get with you about, we spoke a little bit, but more specifically, we want to get you some straightforward recipes that are easy and delicious. So let's
Yeah.
talk again. After I sent you that email back when we were going back and forth for a couple days there, I got very caught up with some kid stuff. But I'm back in business again.
That's awesome. And if I can add to that, Celine, I forgot you were in Turkey. And if I could just add from the perspective of encouragement, I spent maybe about 5-6 days in Turkey. I can't remember if we even got to a week, but almost a week. We were in Eskese here, and of course, Istanbul, and amazing. I stayed completely vegetarian the whole time. I think I was eating eggs a little bit then, and sometimes when I'm in the middle of Turkey or Romania or Russia, I go, you know what? These people have an egg dish. I see the chickens outside. I'll have it. I'll try this. I will never eat flesh. I don't want to eat a slaughtered animal, but yeah, I'll have an egg here and there. So I had some wonderful breakfast thing with eggs. But Celine, just to encourage you and say, I completely vegetarian and I ate different food every day in Turkey. I hear you though. If you're going into restaurants and you're with other people, they might steer towards the more, beef and chicken oriented. I know that pork is not a thing there, but but we found restaurants that were mostly vegetarian, mostly plant based, and then we had a chef who admittedly was. I hope I don't. It's funny. You have to watch everything you say now. She was Armenian, and hopefully that's not offensive to a Turk. But this person was amazing chef, and we had this. It's still one of the greatest meals I had in my life. This woman cooked like all kinds of. So you got to find some allies there in Turkey, and you got to find some ways that that you're highlighting, because Turkish food for vegetarian, wow. Incredible. But something is not happening for your access to that, and we understand that. So do write Laura directly and write me directly, and we can keep talking about this. Raymond Helfrich is asking, by the way, Laura, do you have a Venmo or do you have a?
I do
PayPal?
have a Venmo. Yeah.
You do. What is it?
It's at Laura-Dardi.
Okay, and is that all caps? I mean,
No, it's like my
capital L, capital D.
Yeah, and capital D. Everything else is lowercase.
Okay, so
And if they need for some reason my last 4 digits.
let's
Whatever. That's
don't
fine.
put that out in the air per se.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But,
I have a lot of stalkers, so I probably shouldn't do
There
that.
you go. But it's literally at Laura Dardi with the dash, right?
Yes, yeah, and my picture comes up and it's food.
Okay.
You'll know it's me.
Okay,
I'm the only
so-
one, I think.
Awesome.
I'm pretty
So,
sure.
So Raymond, and anyone else, I'll put that.
Wait a
up.
minute. Who's Raymond?
Raymond Helfrich, my good friend.
Oh,
who,
hi, Raymond.
Lives in the tri-state area.
Okay. Would I know him?
Laura's-
Would I have known him?
You know, we became friends because of music, because of Project Object. I don't
Is
know
he
if
a
he's ever-
musician?
I think he plays guitar, yeah, but I don't think he's been down to where you usually see us, like the Stone Pony and
Right.
maybe New York City and stuff. But yeah, maybe you've been in a New York City show together. Okay, so Venmo at Laura Dardi.
Yeah, hyphen.
Awesome. Hyphen, right? There we go. So, and then her, you can find her here on YouTube, on Facebook.
Facebook, Laura Dardi.
Yeah. So.
And then Oh My Pie. And then
My Pie.
yeah, and it's a girl, a bike, and a pie. Did you know that?
Sounds like the name of your.
That's my tagline.
The name
Okay,
of your
a girl,
biography.
a bike, and a pie.
A girl, a bike, and a pie. Walk into a bar. Okay, great. So we got that all.
Yeah, that could be a name of a book for sure.
We got that all in there. Okay, awesome. So you're doing the pies right now. Are you doing some catering right now and some?
I'm working
events
as a
this summer?
private chef, and I'm always looking for catering, of course, you know. A little tough right now, you know, a lot of people are being very tight, and also a lot of rescheduling stuff. Like a lot of cakes and things that I would have done got pushed back. Some of that's going to come up, hopefully. Some people just changed all the way pushed back to 2022.
Oh, wow.
Which is okay with me because I have a steady gig,
Right.
you know, and then I live very simple. So, you know, I don't really worry about those things. It seems that, excuse me, I was up till 5 a.m. last night. I'm trying to work on my memoirs. I got to catch up with you.
Wow.
Sure, you're way ahead of me.
Memoirs sound like you're retiring or.
Yeah, I probably will retire after I put that out. And nobody might want to hire me after I spill the beans on everything.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, I got some cool photos here for people.
Oh,
to check
nice. Yeah.
out.
Some food. I
yeah,
didn't send you the raw taco recipe, but I could give that out
could do
just
that
right
live.
now.
Yep,
Yeah,
and-
it's real simple. 5 minutes to make.
Well, I wanted to inspire people too with some of your photos because Laura has always had gardens in the backyard. But look at
Always.
that.
And
That's-
front yard now. That's in the front.
that's your-
That's my kale bed. It's a little,
Look at
needs some
that.
weeding. It's too hot. I haven't been weeding the last few days. I've been caught up with kids, as I said. But yeah, that's my garden. I've got some red Russian kale, some curly kale, a little bit of mix. I have some cucumbers there. That's why I have those bamboo, kind of, what would you call them? Trellises? Yeah.
Stakes
Stakes or trellises. But they're really slow going, but I think they're going to shoot up fast. Last year, I got so many cucumbers. I think I made maybe 12 or 14 jars of pickles. And then I ate a lot and I gave a lot away. I don't know. For some reason, out of these beds, I yield a lot of food.
That's awesome. Well, you know, people don't realize how fast kale grows and how.
Oh my gosh, you cut it and 2 days later, you've got way more kale. I can't even eat that kale because I try to also support the farmers at the farmers market.
Right.
So I tell people, come by and just cut that kale. It's for the neighborhood.
That's awesome.
I share it
That's awesome. And you
and I grow it. Yeah, and I'm the
here's
caretaker of it.
of your own of your kale. Yeah. Here's
Yeah.
another shot of the kale. Where did that go? Here we go.
I have other ones. I've got some lettuces and some
Look at that.
tomatoes.
That's like a little kind of a
That's a
close-up.
nice one. I like that one because you could
Oh,
see my
delicious.
bamboo. Yeah, that's a great bed. I mean, that's what it looks like today. I took that this morning.
Delicious. And you know the thing about kale, it's such a backbone
It is.
of our food.
And you
It's
could do so much with kale that people don't
That's
even
right.
realize.
That's
Like
right.
a lot more than what people think. They think it's just steamed or kale chips. No, it's beyond that. You can use
No,
kale as bread.
yeah,
It works great as a wrapper, like a
as a
collard,
wrap, right?
as a boat
taco
for a
sort of thing.
taco. Right.
Yeah,
We're on the
yeah.
same wavelength. Exactly. Cheers to that.
We have kale
Mhm.
5 days a week or something, but we get a CSA that delivers it, and we grew kale once, right? We got to grow it again. Hopefully, we
I
get some
don't.
going this year.
This shot here is crazy because
Yeah,
there's
what's
some
this?
food. There's some food in there, but there's cutting flowers. But it's so grown out right now from the last couple of days of rain. What I was trying to show is that there's some milkweed in there, but that's okay. I have some pictures of that in my back bed, and I didn't take any of those. But I grow milkweed, which I think is super important. It comes back every year. It's a perennial. And do you know enough about milk? I mean, do you know anything about milkweed, Trey?
I forget.
So
is
it's
is
really attracting the monarchs. It's
Oh,
keeping the
okay.
monarch population. You know,
Do you-
it's
Yeah, and
and
with the name, I'm forgetting. Do you give that to pregnant mothers to create milk, or is that
milk
something else?
thistle,
Milk thistle's for the
right?
liver.
For
but
liver. And
I can't.
milkweed, I'm not sure. I don't
Not
know.
sure.
I had plenty of milk when I was pregnant, so I didn't
Yeah.
worry about
Didn't
it.
worry about it because sometimes those names are just so direct.
Yeah, they're
these
tricky.
herb
Yes.
names. But
Yeah.
I do remember milkweed.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. And maybe we should look that up right now. Could you?
I will. Yeah, I will in a second. I'm just
Okay, cool.
enjoying looking at all your food pictures. Let's go through a couple more first.
Sure.
So here's one example of kind of Laura's just walking out to the garden. We always talk about this.
Every day I go and pick something, whether it's some
Yeah.
arugula leaves or some parsley or some.
Amazing.
My back bed, I didn't even show you. It's crazy right now because we had storms here. And the
Okay.
milkweed kind of like protected everything and folded. Oh, that's a good one. That's the walnut taco meat.
Okay, great. So we'll give this recipe today.
Absolutely. It's
And-
got some guacamole and some little bit of pico de gallo and
That's
just some
awesome.
lettuce leaves, my lettuce.
What?
Um,
Of course.
Yeah.
What else is yours from the garden? Is that your cukes or tomatoes?
Probably the tomatoes. I'm not sure about I don't know if there is cucumbers on that. I'm not remembering that. That one's a while ago, but the
Wow.
lettuce definitely, and the tomatoes probably, because I do grow tomatoes here, even though I don't eat a lot of tomatoes because it's a nightshade.
Okay.
And I have rheumatoid arthritis and my factor has been pretty high. So I'm really watching the tomato intake. The thing about that though, people should know is if you take the skin off and the seeds out and you just have the flesh, you'll be okay. It's not,
Is that
it's not
removing? Yeah, that's removing
Yeah.
lectins.
lectins.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. That's awesome. Look at how delicious that looks, folks. And
So
You know,
simple. 5 minutes. 5
simple.
minutes.
And everything there is raw, right? Is that a raw
Yeah.
walnut?
It's
Yeah.
raw. That's raw.
That's amazing. I got to get my raw quotient back up.
Oh,
I am
man.
actually, but I got to
You
go.
always do that. You go through phases with. I remember when you were really heavily doing it. You felt really good.
I'll say it, and I say it here from time to time. The greatest 2 years of my life, hands down.
Yeah.
Why don't I do it? Because it's really challenging, but you know what, folks? Nothing good in life is not challenging.
That's true.
If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's not impossible. It just takes some discipline and some planning and things like that. It's actually rather simple. Once you're doing it, it's probably like
Yeah.
flying or something. And once you're up in the air, you're coasting. But Laura was there, and I learned a lot from her. A lot of raw recipes back.
I
then.
learned a lot from being at your store because David Wolf does it so easy.
Yeah, So that
Or should we call him David Avocado, right?
David
That's his,
Avocado Wolf, right? So
Yeah.
so you can help me get slowly back to that with recipes like this. Wow, that looks delicious. That's awesome.
simple.
So okay, I'll do a couple more pictures and then we have a recipe for people. This one
Yeah.
I loved because this is
Is that going to be the collard thing or
this is
something
going to
else?
be the nori rolls, which you've been
Oh, yeah, that I make
such
with
a
quinoa. But guess what? The new thing now is just to do it all with vegetables, no grain at all. Because right now
wow
I'm grainless. I'm not doing any grains right now.
sushi with no grain.
Quinoa.
Now I always make sure people know, and I'm such a pedant about this because people use the wrong word for tremolo instead of vibrato, or they use
Yes.
the wrong word for this or that. Sushi, folks. People say, "Oh, I thought you're a vegetarian. You eat sushi." For the record, sushi literally means vinegared rice. Sushi
Exactly.
is the rice of this traditional Japanese food. The fish is sashimi. Sashimi. So
Sashimi.
vegetarians love sushi because it's the rolls, it's the veggie rolls, it's the avocado rolls, it's the oshinko, and it's the pickles and daikon and all
Yeah.
kinds of different things. But Laura is taking it to the next level. She's doing with grain free. So the one we're looking at though is what, with quinoa?
Yeah, with quinoa, which is
Okay.
tricky. You got to get the
Right.
quinoa just right because it's not sticky enough. But I've
Yeah.
got some little tricks for that
Okay.
that work really well. And
So
it makes
these
it
are-
more interesting.
So these are nori rolls. We see quinoa. Do I see avocado in there? Carrot. What else is
Carrots,
in there?
cucumber, scallions. There's probably a mix. Sometimes I put some like little pieces of tempeh that are steamed that have been marinated. I switch it up.
Kale. I see
Yeah,
some.
I mean that's somebody's lunchbox to go that I made. That's I used to do those lunch boxes to go. That's what that is.
Delicious. Delicious.
Thank you.
So that's the one. I was saying that the other day. Robin and I were looking at some show and they were doing nori, and I said, "Yeah, I never learned how to do that, even though Laura has tried to teach me."
Yeah, but I'll tell you,
Uh,
you can really roll a mad spring roll. You remember all the ones you rolled
That's
for me
right.
at the Waldorf Astoria
For
downstairs. The humanitarian awards for Paul McCartney.
was that the pita, right?
Yeah. And guess
Yeah.
what? That was right before 9/11, just like a week before
Folks,
9/11.
The craziest. I know. It's crazy, folks. Quick story there. I'll tell you exactly when it was. Let's see. That's 11, 10.
I have a T-shirt
8.
right now in the other room.
Do you? That was the 8th of September,
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
the year 2001. And Laura hired me to come in and be an assistant. Myself and Steve Asbury, who's also been on the
Yeah.
show.
And
He's a
Jason
vegan
Salverio.
bodybuilder. Was Jason there too?
Yeah,
I
remember he
forget
met
that. Okay.
Paul. They were on the elevator with Paul.
Okay. So we all go in and we were servers with Laura. We all got dressed up. We had, nice black
was
t-shirts
killer.
that said, I forget what it said, but we were serving things. And the two things I remember is I parked and I dropped you all off and I parked and I came around the back and I walked right into the Waldorf Astoria, right?
Yeah, without
that-
any security or
in
anything.
the back. I went right in the back, right walked through the
Exactly.
kitchen, went to
You
elevator.
did it.
And I remember, folks, this is 3 days before 9/11. I remember thinking, man, there's no security here. Bad people can do bad things when it's. I'm not
And there was a
paranoid. I
lot
don't
of like
walk around thinking
people
that, but-
there. That was a big event.
Yeah,
That
I
was
remember-
for over 1,000. I had
Yeah.
food for over 1,000.
I remember
Mark
thinking,
Rasmussen, Veggie
Yeah.
Works, Gail from Down to Earth, which is now Good Karma Cafe. Give her a shout out. Karma to
Yeah.
Go here in Red Bank, New Jersey. One of the leaders here, pioneers.
And if you remember too, we went and we dropped Steve off at the World Trade Center, like he was staying with
Yeah.
friends next door. Isn't
I
that
know.
weird? But
Yes.
folks, this is 3 days before. So we're at the World Trade Center, like literally, our friend is staying next door. There's apartment buildings
Crazy.
like across the street, and I never forget. I got out of my car. I think you did too. We all did. We got out of
Yeah,
the car
we did.
and kind of
Looked
said,
up.
Wow, this is amazing. Because to stand next to the thing, who does that unless
Right.
you're going there? And I just remember going, man, I've never, you see this every day in your life living in the New York area, but to come right next to it. And I remember going, wow, remarkable build. What an amazing building. We shared this little thing of how amazing the
Yes.
World Trade Center is. Not 72 hours before planes, you know. So
Intense.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And Bassam, where did those planes come from? Please tell us. Okay, so we're gonna continue on. Beautiful food here. What is this?
Oh, these are great. I got a jicama slaw with some really cool tacos. I've got a couple different ones there. I've got a tempeh taco. I got a veggie taco, and I probably have a tofu taco. I think there's 2 or 3 on that plate, but the other ones are laying down behind that one in the top.
Yeah.
So I got that jicama slaw and some guacamole, like all the toppings you need for some hard tacos, you know. This is
great.
another thing, you know, a little bit of prep, and then 10 minutes, you got this meal made. Seriously.
I love it.
You marinate
Taco.
your tempeh, and then, you know, you could cook it off, brown it off, bake it in the oven, whatever you want. I think, you know, there's a misconception about tempeh. Tempeh tastes fine by itself, but all you got to do is a little bit to it, a little tamari, some ginger, some garlic, whatever. You can make it your own.
Oh,
But you cook it
tempeh
in a
is-
stock. You cook it in a stock, and then, oh man, you have that ready in your refrigerator. You can make anything. Chili. You could even make tempeh meatballs.
Tempeh is one of my well,
Favorites.
people know. People know.
I dig
yeah,
it.
absolutely. And people know I talk about tempeh.
Fermented.
Oh my
Fermented
God,
food.
You know,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's share.
How about a
this
dessert?
next one. Okay. Yes, one more savory, and then a
Okay.
dessert. So what's this? That looks like
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
wait, that's Kim. Yeah, you know what? That's this past Thanksgiving. I made dinner for Mrs. J.
Oh, great.
And Kim, Carol, Kim
fantastic.
Websterly Carol. Yeah, so I was at Kim's house. I prepped this all at my house. So what I have is organic orange cranberry sauce.
Mm.
I've got a whole bunch of like delicious roasted vegetables, really done simple. I have to the right, it looks like it could be gravy, but I'm not positive. I'm not sure about that. I think it could be something. Oh no, that's Japanese sweet potatoes whipped.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, but on the next to the cranberry sauce.
Yeah, in that
It
white
looks like
bowl.
it's cut like turnips.
Oh, then
or
yeah, I
something.
think it. Well, no, it's sweet potato, but it's
Okay.
just steamed and like smashed. I couldn't
Cubed,
shouldn't call
yeah.
it mashed. Yeah.
Okay.
And then to the left on that blue plate is tofu with stuffing that's been marinated and baked in the oven. And I have to tell you, that's a pretty big loaf, and the 3 of us ate it.
Wow.
Because you know, we went a little crazy. It wasn't on, I don't think it was on Thanksgiving Day, because I don't really do that. My mom was Native American, so I do my own little thing. But I love that meal. I like that meal anytime in the winter. Like, just give me that tofu with some gravy. I don't even need the stuffing. And maybe some of those veggies. I'm ready. I don't need all that other stuff, you know, the pumpkin pie and all that. No, I just take all the savory stuff. I do like cranberry sauce, and that's really nice because that's got a zest in it. And then I sweeten that with a little bit of either monk fruit or, you know, something kind of clean. But truthfully, if you put enough orange in it and you really cook it down, it doesn't need much. And you don't need to thicken it. The pectin from the cranberries makes it thick. You don't need to put anything. So.
I love that you've got the whole sprigs of thyme and what's that, rosemary there?
Yeah, that's from my garden in November. It's still growing here in Jersey, which is great. Yeah, it's thyme from Farmer Ed. He gave me a plant as a gift one year, and I've had it for like 7 years. Now it's huge. I had to move it back to the perennial bed. The mint is trying to kill it off, but thyme takes over. The mint's not going to get to it. Oh, yeah. And you can
Nothing
never
like
have
thyme.
enough thyme, any kind of thyme, French thyme, lemon thyme.
My mom's favorite. That's so good. Well, and I've had the pleasure of Thanksgiving at your house.
Oh, yeah. Way back in the day. You've had a couple.
You've
had a couple. We had one in Rumson, and then we had the one in Red Bank, but remember we had like 25 people there, and I made a buffet and went around the room. Everybody was here. Even Russell from the book pit was here.
That's true. That's true.
It was great. It was great. I had the whole thing of desserts, a whole like little credenza kind of thing filled with pies. I remember that.
And Oh, I mean, I said I would do one dessert after.
See, yeah, I
one
must
more.
have something. Did I get?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
you
you
should do
definitely
the
you
strawberry
definitely
thing.
do.
That's great.
Look, um,
That raw
okay.
strawberry dessert is excellent.
There's a couple pies. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Um,
And you
let's
pick what you want.
Well, here's actually one more because I wanted to show this. I just had fun putting this together. But there is the ageless Laura. And we had this
That's
picture
me
today
right
for
now. Like
her
I look
promo.
like that right now.
She looks like a kid, and
I am a kid. I'm
I
going
hear
backwards. I decided I'm not aging. I'm regressing instead of
you're
progressing.
regressing, and you have a birthday coming up in a couple weeks.
November.
November. Okay, couple months. Jeez, November's sooner than we think, right? You're like, oh,
Yeah,
this
I'm going to
camera
be
took
the
me.
big 60.
Well,
60.
how about I wasn't gonna say because there's.
I don't care.
I know. Thank
I'm
you.
proud of it.
There's this societal thing that don't say a woman's age. That's pretty weird, I think. Well, if she's
Very.
fine with it, then why not? But okay, you're fine with it. But look, this woman's gonna be 60, folks. Can you believe that? She doesn't look 35, and a big part is great genes. Let's not great native genes, great Italian genes, but
Thank you.
but also taking care of herself, folks. Taking care of herself, eating a plant-based diet, exercising, yoga, all of these different
My
things.
bike
Tai Chi,
every day.
biking. So I thought this was a fun thing to put together. But while we're here,
I
tell
like
us
that.
what that. Oh, well, thank you. I just literally.
Oh,
you
that's
saw
a favorite. You know
Yeah, what is this?
That's chickpea soka, but I make it in a crepe. And it's funny because we had that the other night at Mrs. J's birthday on Friday night.
Right.
Gail made it special. And
Yeah.
I love that dish. I've been making that for a long time. They started making it down to earth, but I actually learned that when I was at pastry school in New York, because
Right.
that's considered like a street food. And people just eat it by itself. Like soka's so easy. Just some chickpea, water, olive oil, and some herbs de Provence. Let it sit. Pour it in a cast iron skillet. Turn it. You got that. And then if you want, you can scramble it and make scrambled chickpea. People call it tofu, but it's not tofu. It's chickpea scramble.
And soka is
Chickpea.
chickpeas, of course. Right. Let's see.
Inside there is a white bean, probably puree, or a cannellini bean puree, and caramelized leeks. It's traditional. Like I'm sure you've eaten it at Down to Earth, and Gail will have it probably in the fall as a special. I always want to see it on the menu, but it's not real hard to make. It's just a lot of components, and you go through it quick. When the way she's making it, she's doing it in squares and layering it, so it's a lot of product. This way, I make it really thin, the crepes. And it's super easy. It's so delicious. Sometimes I just use
so
that.
good.
You could just use that as bread. So you just make the crepe and you can use it as a sandwich bread. Perfect.
I love it. And it's
Thank you. Yeah. I love it too.
What is that? Collards on top and olives and
actually
mushrooms?
I think it could be collards if that's what I had that day, but I usually use kale. Kale is the most, but it goes with anything. It could go with collards, it could go with spinach, it could even go with dandelion greens.
Looks like scallions and
it's actually leeks. It's some leeks. Sprout. It could be chard. Oh, you mean the side dish? Yeah, absolutely. The side dish is everything. And then
so good.
And marinara, but that's like my dad's marinara,
nice.
Cooked it all day kind of deal.
Right. Cook the gravy.
So you have all those components in your refrigerator and then you just assemble it and it's in no time. And what does it take? You soak some beans. And if people don't want to soak beans, I'm not against using canned beans.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are,
it works.
That's great. It's about looking in the fridge and
yeah, I love that.
Saying,
use your stuff, make soka any way you want, your style.
So,
Freestyle
so
soka.
The first of our desserts here, this one, wow, it looks lovely. It's a, let me just get it on the screen here. This is a, something with, oops, wrong one. Something with strawberries. It looks delicious.
Oh yeah, that's raw. That's completely raw. That is a really delicious crust that I make with nuts. And I use manna or coconut, whatever I have around. And so I make this dough and I refrigerate it. Then you could roll it, you could press it, you can make it into little energy balls and then stuff the strawberries in it or blueberries or whatever, or even like pumpkin puree, whatever. Then this is just sliced strawberries. And then how I get it shiny is a trick. I take apricots. I soak them, I blend them, and I drain them, and then I shine them. If you really look at it, you can maybe see a little bit of the apricot color in the center of the strawberries, and that's it. These were local organic strawberries. So actually, no, these strawberries are from my own strawberries that I grew in my backyard. That's why I made it. And then that's just awesome. A piece of mint, and that's it. Simple, but delicious, fresh.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I love that dessert.
A real reminder too, simplicity, folks. Just look how that little sprig of
it does it some justice.
Does and mint is so overlooked. I don't know much about mint. Is there different types of mint? Because there's
several. There's 100. There's 100. Pineapple mint, pineapple mint, orange mint, chocolate mint, spearmint. They're all in that family.
Yeah.
I have about 5 growing in my bed.
Incredible. Mint is so overlooked. People just have it. They think it's in a candy or a gum.
Right.
Mint is incredible. The oil of mint is got all these great properties and
very good for your digestion.
Yeah,
mint.
Absolutely. So
and it's also will wake you up. You drink some peppermint tea, it will wake you up, like in a good way. It'll give you.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we got another dessert here. Let's see. How do I do this? Give me an S.
I wonder what this one is. I don't remember which ones I sent you.
So this is delicious. This looks like sinful IHOP dessert with the.
Oh, this is actually breakfast.
Breakfast, sure. Okay, yeah, IHOP again. I've seen people at IHOP.
This is brand new. This is I just made this about. Josh was here and I made this for him before he got surgery. This is vanilla gluten-free with vanilla bean pancakes with a blueberry compote with macerated strawberries and a coconut whip that you make from the white part of the coconut and the canned coconut. And you get that really cold and you can just whip it up with a whisk and it doesn't even need to be sweetened.
Amazing.
And that's what that's all about. That is spectacular. Yeah, I love that.
For the skeptics, it's got to be real dairy, or else I'm not. I just don't get that. That there's almost, there's stuff going on there.
There's not even flour. Those are kind of flourless. Well, they're made from coconut flour.
That's awesome. But the people that won't like who wouldn't want a forkful of that right now?
I want that right now because I haven't eaten any sugar in 7 weeks, but that looks good.
Amazing. And once again, is that mint in the?
Yeah, I always have to have my mint. I'm French culinary trained.
Just pulls it together.
So I have to have those little garnishes. They mean the world to me. Plus, I think people eat them more than you would believe because when I worked in hotels and stuff, I used to chiffonade the mint and sprinkle it on the plate, and then the plates would come back, and I'd say, "Oh, good, they ate the mint."
That's crazy.
Chocolate and mint. Oh, that's a great combo.
Let's see. A couple people. Raymond. Okay, Raymond got into Venmo, but you're comfortable with it, Laura. What's the last 4 on your number?
Oh, it's 0935.
Okay, but there's a picture of food anyway, right? So
it's like a cast iron pan with vegetables in it.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll put that there. Laura's Venmo, and it's the last 4 is 0935, and I'll just put it again. Laura Dardi. And no, okay, great. It tries to put a period after that, but all right, there we go. Awesome. Selling it would magically disappear, right? That's right, Sharon. And Celine says, sorry, that dessert would be fine in under a minute. That's great.
What? That day, Joshua ate 11 of those pancakes. 11. I'm not kidding. You can ask him. He's here. 11 pancakes he ate. It was throughout the day. He didn't eat them in one sitting. But it was like he had them and then later and then he had more, it's like, he ate all the batter, which was good because Frankie wasn't around and I'm not eating any of that. I'm not
Sure.
eating anything. I'm not even eating blueberries right now, which is one of my favorite
Wow.
foods. I'm eating
That's
cantaloupe and strawberries right now. I'm trying
that's
to do
awesome.
like kind of a plant-based keto.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Likewise, I'm just trying to get more protein and
Me
more
too.
raw
And more
and
fat,
just
good fat, lots of
and I'm
good fat.
yeah, we always both have that. We're always eating olives and avocados and flax
Yes,
seeds and
artichokes.
all these good things.
Yeah.
Um, my thing is to get the intermittent fasting back. My problem has
Yeah.
always been because of my musician life, because I often get home at 2:30 in the morning. So you eat a bag of chips and a thing of salsa at
Of
2:30, or
course.
you cook a burrito, or I've done idiotic things, and it's the big flaw in my diet. I'm
Yeah.
eating this great food, but at 3 in the morning is not the time. So I
No.
don't do that every night, folks. It's not like I'm always up, but it's a bad habit. And the intermittent fasting has been great. I'm getting slowly back to that, but I did that for a few months last year, and you feel amazing, right? When you stop eating
Yes.
at 8 or 9
Love that.
o'clock and don't eat till noon, incredible. But this is a great. If you're gonna have something sweet, gonna have a dessert. This is one of the many ones. There's one recipe that I'm gonna put up that people can get, or
Yeah,
I can
that
just
you should show
copy
the
and paste it.
picture that goes with it, Trey, which is that collard with the food on it, just chopped
Right.
up.
Okay. Great.
I
So
have that there. Show
I'll
that.
do
That
that
was my
next.
dinner the night before last. Or was that last night? Last night I didn't eat dinner. I
Um,
skipped. So the
let's
night
see.
before last, and it's collard on a white plate with just
Yeah. Let me.
uh you have
I've
it.
got
It
it.
should be in one of the early
Yeah. There's
ones.
so many good shots here. Um,
Thank you.
here's another one that I'm finding. I'm finding ones on the way to that. So
Okay, that's fine. You can pop them in. Why
uh,
not?
where is the one I just? Okay. Look at this. This is like. Oh, there we go. Let's look at that. This is that's just like your
That's my
kitchen.
produce. That's my haul last weekend.
Look at that. From where? From the farm
Farmer,
market?
Jeff and Carly now, second
Oh wow.
generation organic. Yeah.
Fantastic. And they still farm at Springsteen's farm?
No, that's over. Ed bought a
Okay.
piece of land, 60 acres in Cream Ridge.
Oh great.
So they have their own family place after losing their place years ago. You know that
Right.
story. So
Yeah,
now the family has their land, but it's not where they live. I mean, Jeff and Carly live near it, but they have a house down there. But they have, actual land that they own, 60 acres.
that's beautiful. Look at all that, folks. Cukes,
That's
garlic.
all. Yeah, yeah, that's all last weekend.
A lot of people don't get to see garlic
Yeah,
right
that's
out
long
of the
neck,
ground. There it is.
northern. Yeah, northern long neck garlic. I grew that last year. I didn't put any in this year. You need some space for that to make it worthwhile.
And there's the roots of the garlic, folk, right there. And this is back to the earth,
Yeah.
uh, really amazing. Okay. And where are they? In what part of Jersey? Creamery?
Cream Ridge, New Jersey, Jeff's Organics, aka ER and Son, certified organic since 1976, second generation farming.
Oh wow.
Second certified organic farmer in the state. The man that he predecesses is no longer, but he was a mentor to Ed. And you know Ed's story,
Oh,
So
of course.
Ed got sprayed with Agent Orange, and he decided to become in Vietnam. He decided to be an organic farmer and help his community. And he did that for so many years, 1976, and he's still doing it. His kid is doing it now.
What's crazy, folks? If you just Google Jeff's Organic, it comes up. That's kind of amazing.
Isn't that
Uh,
cool? Yeah, I
and
saw that
that
too.
could be the 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 Google algorithm, listening to me or whatever. But these are friends of ours, folks. This is a young man, Jeff, who I've known since he was
A
well, I
little
met him-
boy.
yeah, I met him. I would have met him around 19. As soon as you say 19, it's. But I met him around 1991 when I was working at the George Street Co-op, when he was a kid coming with his dad to bring things.
You and I were at the George Street Co-op together
That's
on
correct.
the tofu board.
That's
The
correct.
tofu board.
That's correct.
Yeah, I worked
Look at
with
this,
you.
folks. Oh my God. That's it. Look at these tomatoes. People forget tomatoes can come in a
Look at the
thousand
watermelons.
different ways. Yeah, they always had a variety of watermelons and the salad mix. Well,
And
Jeff, I salute you. Please tell him I said hi. He's
I
learned
will.
well from his
Oh,
dad.
definitely. And he has a degree in
And-
environmental science from
That's
Rutgers.
right. And
Smart boy, very smart. And
He
he's
is.
married to Carly.
And
He's married to, Carly from Margaret's.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love Carly. And I have to bust his chops. Why isn't it Jeff and Carly's organic?
Whatever.
All right,
I guess
start
they
any trouble.
got married. There they are. Is that
Yeah.
them?
It's amazing. So Carly, this is so great because she was the manager of like this little jewelry store, right?
Yes, exactly. Margaret's. I'm on
I
it.
mean,
She's changed.
never in my life would I've thought
I
this
know, right?
young woman's going to be on the farm.
A farmer.
She's going to be
She's
farming.
got some serious hardworking ethics, though. Let me
she
tell you.
does.
She was
she
managing
does.
that store when she was 16 years
Well,
old.
that's it. Exactly. She's got,
She's amazing. And, she used to walk around barefoot and I used to always warn her. Now, she fared well.
Yeah. The Lid Spartskis. So, just look at that. I mean,
Isn't
come on,
that
folks.
beautiful? I mean, come on. Come out on Sunday, Red Bank 9 to 2 at the Red Bank Galleria. I'll be there shopping. We could
look
talk
at this.
about food.
So this is a weekly kind of a situation. Any of you in Central Jersey, by the way, look at this because
It's
you can
amazing.
get these veggie boxes. There's a single size for a single person, regular size for a family of 4, veggie lovers family size. So this is an easy way to get produce. Again, if you're in the Central Jersey area or, even Philadelphia, this is all.
It's awesome.
Yeah, really great. So that's where you go every Sunday and find these folks, huh?
Yes.
That's great. I see. Right. There's a couple farm markets. I also applaud that they're certified organic because we're going into a weird place where we go to our farm market. We're going to go there tomorrow. It's right up the street. But you have a lot of people who say, I don't want to pay for it. I want to be organic. And I get that. I get that it's prohibitive for some people. I get that it's very unfair. If you're going to spray your apple orchard with all this poison, the U.S. government gives you
Joshua,
money.
I need you.
Joshua. But, organic
Josh, I need
farmers
you a minute.
don't
Quick.
really
Joshua.
get that kind of help.
No, I have to unplug this.
So
No, it's okay. I need to know the time right now.
Laura's just plugging back in there. Yeah, but so I applaud, when you can find certified organic stuff,
Okay, that's fine.
That's awesome. Well, let's see if there's any questions too.
420, 430.
Celine says Istanbul is a bit more modern compared. Yeah, I guess for Americans going there though, you feel how ancient it is.
At
And you're in Ankara. Yeah. Well, we were in.
You call the cab for me. Okay.
We were in Eskesa here, and we were in some small towns on the drive. But again, we can come back to that. It's about turning a switch and just saying, I'm seeing all this stuff. Because I thought, what an amazing! I found vegetarian food every single day, and I'm a visitor that doesn't speak the language, so you're maybe.
So if you could do it, anyway.
Folks, yeah, it might. But I understand if you're with friends and folks, and they want to go to a certain type of restaurant. Laura, how much time do you have?
Well, the thing is the appointment isn't far, but Frankie's at a different location up on Tower Hill, and I've got to go get him at some point. About a half hour.
Okay, great. Just so we can. So, back to some. If there's any questions for Laura, this is a good time, folks. And I'm going to put the next one. It's going to be a picture and a recipe.
Nice.
Kurt Douglas Hampstead. How are you, my brother? Kurt has been adding more and more veg dishes to his life. He's been slowly getting different things in there. And
that's great.
Kurt is also from Guyana, as most people know.
You are.
And we knew his family really well as kids. Celine, okay, not offended by Armenians. That's good. Okay. That was dark humor on my part, but yes. And Yeah, it's very tragic. Things do happen there, and it's terrible to hear about Pinar Gutek. And yeah, you know, lots of mistreatment happening there, and around the world. Um, let's see. Okay, so people just loving the pictures, loving the desserts. Uh, Vegan keto sounds like a lot of work. It's not. I mean,
Nah.
it what it mean. It's work, which right there you've lost. Most Americans. Right, it's work, but it's
Yeah.
not a lot of work. It
No.
just involves really loving green things. So a lot of juice. I do a lot of green juices when I'm doing like an all protein thing. Kale, collard chard, with just like a lemon, maybe a half of an apple, quarter of an apple, just for a little sweet. So you're getting a little bit of carbs, but you're getting all that green chlorophyll. And there's protein, folks, in arugula and chard and kale. But then the other side of it is lots of the veg proteins, tempeh and walnuts, almonds, pine
Macadamia
nuts,
nuts.
macadamia nuts, all these things made into things. You don't want to just sit there and eat a bag of nuts. You're having it with other stuff. But the other thing, I think the first thing is that you're going to eat more carbs than the typical keto because there are carbs in an
Yeah.
avocado or in a an
Cauliflower.
orange or cauliflower. But you're not going to worry about it because it's not the processed carbs that people are trying to avoid.
Hmm.
But and then
I
then
love
there's
it. I love
yeah,
it.
then there's all
It's
those
great.
other
It's discipline, but I like that.
yeah, eating at 2 in the morning. Yes, exactly. So Celine says, um where in Jersey are you? I'm sorry, not you, Laura, but the farm. The farm's in Cream Ridge, New Jersey.
Yeah, two
Celine,
words.
if you're
It's
somewhere in,
out Freehold, like it's west of Freehold.
there you go. Okay. I see it here. It's right below 195.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
Celine, if you're kind of around there, out near Trenton, Hamilton Square. It's right out in the.
It's
In
a
the
beautiful area too. There's a lot of farms still out there. You could still see red barns there and old silos.
yeah,
It's unique.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can. Let's see. Why not? I love that you can just show people what the heck's going on.
That is great. Yeah. You can show them a
Uh,
map and they can
yeah,
get there.
yeah. Here it is. So those of you in the Central Jersey area,
Nice. That's
there we
great,
go.
Dre. Yeah, I love
So
that. There
Cream
they are.
Ridge. Um,
It's wholesome
so
still there.
to pull back a bit, folks, we're talking about New Jersey, right? There we go. And if we zoom back in,
Let me see if I could get this. I got this from
see
there.
where it is, folks. It's down in the bottom part of New Jersey, which is kind of below the Mason-Dixon line in some ways. If you hang around there, but actually the farm's not, but yeah, but it's just kind of straight east of a little northeast of Philadelphia. There we go. See? Cream
Nice.
Ridge. There we go.
That's great.
And that's right where the farm is. So if you're in New Jersey and you can get there, or just go to their website because they bring it to you. They go to farm markets
Yes.
in a few spots. So
Look at this
awesome.
from
What do you
out.
have
Look
there?
at this.
Cabbage or no?
Yeah,
What is that?
Napa.
Napa.
Isn't that beautiful?
I love it. Let's make a kimchi.
Let's make a
or-
Napa slaw.
Yeah,
Napa slaw.
that's awesome. What happened to your video? Oh, did we lose Laura? We lost Laura, folks. So we're gonna bring her back in a minute. But how about some lovely dessert in the meanwhile? And we're gonna come back with the recipe, and yeah, that's amazing. Celine, yeah, no problem at all. You didn't ruin any humor. No, don't worry about it. Um, I love having someone tuning in from across the pond. All right, so we're gonna get Laura back in a second. So while she's coming back, let's. I'm gonna go to the recipe and to the uh, the really cool. It's like a a collard wrap sort of a thing. There's so many of these delicious looking foods. Wow, what's that? Mushrooms? I think that's the one, yeah, with the avocados. Avocados, folks. Haven't had one in a while, actually. Been slacking. All right, let's get Laura back on the chat. Let's see what we got. Oh, jeez. We are all discombobulated here. No, she doesn't have to leave for another 20, 30 minutes, but oh, here she is. Okay, great. Technical issues are part of our world. Celine says she's only been to that southern area of Jersey. Okay, all right. You've been mainly in the northern closest city.
Sorry about that.
College. Okay, great. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So
Tap to speak.
okay, I'm getting set to put
Hold on.
one of these the one with the recipe, Laura. Is it the
Okay,
one?
there we go.
I'm back.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Is it the one with
I need to work now. Please, no more.
Is it the one with collards and like looks like avocado and black olives and sunflower
Yes,
seeds?
that's it.
That's the one. That's the right one. Okay.
Yes,
Kalamata olives, which
Kalamata.
Sherry would call Kalamate olives. So we call them that. All right. So first, let us
pray.
Let us pray. That was it's funny because that was
lettuce. Yeah.
that was a song in my band with Bob Ramos that you've met.
Oh, I know Bob. I give a shout out to Bob because I found out he's friends with a chef friend of mine that that thing I sent you today with the archives.
Oh yeah.
At the Radio City Music Hall. So there's a friend on there that I worked with, Michelle Nishan, who's friends with Bob Ramos, who's a chef, who's like an amazing chef. You know why? Connecticut. There's their connection. And they're both musicians. But Michelle Nishan, he worked at the dressing room. He was Paul Newman's partner, and he's got best-selling books out about how to like grow in your backyard to feed a family of 7. He's awesome. Michelle Nishan, he rocks.
That's
I love
pretty
him.
Nuts. Well, Bob knows a lot of people.
Oh my gosh, totally. Yeah, it's
okay,
amazing.
So here we go. This is this delicious collard wrap.
Okay, that took 30 seconds to make, and I'm not exaggerating. I just chopped up some avocados and some cucumbers, some Kalamata olives, some artichokes, my collard that I just picked my collard. And then I didn't even marinate that collard. It's crunchy, but it's a new collard, so it's not bitter. It's the first of the collards. Collards, as they keep growing, they get a little more bitter. And then the winter ones, they get, in the fall. Then you have new collards, and those are sweet too. This is a sweet collard. So all I did was chop up the stuff, toss it together. And I didn't even have any tahini. So on there, I have some vegan, plant-based feta from Follow Your Heart that comes in a canister. And I spread it on the collard because it's wet enough. Spread it down. Throw all that on top. Throw some seeds on it. Spice it up a bit. Wrap it up. Eat it. When I wrapped it, it looked cool. It looked like a torpedo burrito. I loved it. And that's what I had for dinner, and it rocked. And you can put tahini with that. You can make some A lemon sauce would be great. Like a lemon vinaigrette would be delicious. You could put a balsamic reduction with that if you wanted to, if you want to make it fancy.
And this is the one that's called front yard collard or kale wraps.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And you have the recipe. I sent you that.
Yep. I'm gonna post.
So that was
right
my
now.
dinner. That was my dinner the night before last. I loved it. And I used up my stuff because I was at the end of like my olives, my artichokes. I had a whole avocado. I put a half in there. And I got to tell you, like the net carbs on that isn't that high at all.
I'm sure. And you know, it doesn't even matter. I mean, once you get to this level of eating, folks, you just stop with that nonsense. You know.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, man. I when I was raw and eating just stuff that looked like this every day, I never thought about it. In fact, I struggled to keep weight on. I was like, man, you're getting a little too thin, which I know that's the American dream to say, damn it, I'm too thin. But I really felt amazing. You know, my eyes are starting to pop out of my head because I was so energetic. You got a little weird, though. I will say that with raw foods.
You do.
The energy is so intense. And what you're doing the heaviest thing, I'm going to say the heaviest thing a human can do. I'm going to, okay, someone's going to argue that. Whatever. It's one of the heaviest things a human can do. One of. That's positive because you're really turning back the clock to early humanity because before fire, and even for quite some time when we did have fire, humans just ate things. They ate things that they grabbed and caught. And that's not a vegan argument, by the way, because those things involved beetles and worms and little insects and, probably the occasional rodent or a snake or something. But mostly they walked around, and we know this from the fossil record. We know this from all kinds of geological observations, that humans were gatherers, right? The hunter part came later, and it became necessitated with weather changes and all that. But we would wander around and pull fruits off of fruit trees. It's very, intuitive. And we ate leaves, and we started digging and eating little roots and things. So we ate what was easy, and you got enough calories that way. Pretty remarkable. So this is it. You're turning back the clock with food like this.
I feel better.
Oh, to say the least. Torpito burrito.
Yeah, that's what I call that. Because when you roll it, it's huge. It's like crazy looking.
That's awesome.
I was going to send a picture of it rolled, but I had already taken a bite out of it before I thought of it. Which would have been cool. You could have seen the center of it and how it's really packed in there. It's good. But yeah. If people don't have that, look, I recommend, we got a local hummus place here. I'll give a shout out to Abraham's.
Oh, yeah.
So Insomniac Hotel's dad. That's his company.
Of course. And you...
Right. Long Branch, New Jersey. I have some in my fridge right now because it was at Sickles yesterday when I was there to pick up a couple local things. And it was $1.99 and it's organic, people.
Wow.
Forget about soaking chickpeas and cooking them. Just support Abraham's.
No, it's really good hummus.
Good stuff.
And
so is the baba ganoush. Delicious.
Yeah, they have some.
But
great
chickpeas
stuff.
Aren't on keto. You know that chickpeas aren't keto.
They're pretty high carbs. Chickpeas,
unless they're roasted. Unless they're roasted, you could have a few. Yeah.
All
the beans are out. Even lentils are out.
Yeah, I mean, I would still sprout some or something, but. Nothing like
that's what I'm doing now.
Sprouted lentils are great and make soup
sprouted lentils. Oh man.
So folks, that's one recipe for you folks. You can just copy and paste it right from the chat there. I just put it there.
And it's so easy.
So easy. Just are the collards raw or they got steamed? They're raw.
Yeah, no, they're raw. Yeah. They're raw.
It's a raw wrap.
In the winter, I make a different version than that. With the collards steamed, and I pickle them a little bit in some like umi plum vinegar.
Oh, my favorite.
And then I put sweet potatoes and caramelized onions and tempeh wrapped in a collard. That's killer.
That's awesome.
Back in the day, I used brown rice, but these days I haven't had rice in a really long time.
What is this? This looks like mushrooms and.
Oh, okay. Okay, it is. It's jackfruit and mushrooms. And you know who made that is a lot of what we call him Sire Francis, my 16-year-old son.
Frankie.
That's one of his dishes that he made.
Wow.
Yes.
Look at that. I mean,
And
that would.
there's a few of, he made that into sandwiches on homemade rolls with the slaw and pickles and vegan mayo. That's
crazy.
his version of like pulled mushroom and jackfruit. But he's got miso in there and really different ingredients than, you know, it's not a barbecue one. It's different. It's almost like in a gravy base.
Yeah.
He didn't make that here. He made it for his girlfriend's family. They loved it.
That's amazing. What's amazing, folks, is you look at that and you go, no, waiter, take this back. I didn't order the pulled pork. You know,
Right.
It's what I'm continually fascinated by is every texture is in the plant world. I mean, so you can, just like seitan and all these things that you go, wow, is that pork? Is that beef?
Did you see his ham? There's a ham. There's a seitan ham.
Is it in these
Yes,
pictures?
it's in those photos.
I
yeah.
must have, yeah. But what's
great.
remarkable is food is just texture, and it's just
It is.
on this show. Many times I've referenced Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, which is that great show. This woman, it's a chef, and admittedly, a lot of it is animal flesh, but she cooks. She's Lebanese, I believe, so she has all this amazing Lebanese food, and the point is, she makes
Josh,
the point,
I need you.
She makes the point that all of food and cooking is looking at the fat content, the textural content, whether you're going with acidity or sweet, or whether you're going with what's the umami, what's the intent here? Is it a vinegar note? Is it a sugar or honey or some kind of sweetener note? Is it a fruit kind of a thing? Is it a mushroom umami? You know,
Joshua,
when you cook mushrooms down, you get a certain
Josh,
you
come here.
get a
What's
certain,
happening?
Type of umami. So these are all pretty awesome things to think about, that it's really chemistry. You know, some people are turned off by that, but you know, it's chemistry. Laura, if you can hear me, just unmute when you get it going again. Wow, look at that one. This is
Why does it keep muting the volume?
I didn't touch.
there you go.
You didn't
That was
touch it?
No, I
me,
swear.
Josh. Yeah, tell him it was
Oh,
me.
that was Trey, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a kale salad, and that's tahini, lemon tahini with some hot sauce, some avocado, whatever. It's like a last
some
minute
sesame
dinner.
seeds,
Just
or-
put it all together. Yeah.
What are
maybe
the seeds? Sesame?
I think I have a combination on there.
I
Sunflower,
see.
sesame, whatever. I've
What's
got,
the tiny seeds? Like,
yeah, probably
chia?
sesame seeds.
Okay.
I certainly wouldn't put poppy seeds on it. They've got to be soaked or cooked.
Look at that. That looks delicious. And tahini. Oh, tahini is my blood.
That's
flows.
my weakness. Tahini.
Oh, it's the best.
I could drink tahini.
So okay. So you say
Yeah.
I know we got to wrap up in about 10 minutes, but what? Let's see. You said there's a Frankie ham in here, huh? Wow, I don't see.
Yeah, it's a ham. It's like a whole bunch of food with rice and a whole bunch of dishes in the picture.
Okay, here. Well, while I'm looking for that, I'm scanning through. Let's share this with the folks because.
It's happening again.
What?
Uh-oh.
No, it's him. It's his side.
Oh, okay.
He's like,
You're confusing me.
Wow, that's weird.
That's me.
You
Well,
need to tell me when
folks-
there's an issue, not when you're like, when things are going on his end.
What a classic kind of film noir.
I don't know.
shot,
Josh is
folks.
saying,
Looks like the 40s.
that's me
Um.
in the woods. You know, I'll tell you what I was doing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought I got muted somehow. I'm not even touching the screen. So I was working for a modeling agency, not as a model, as a stylist for the models. And the photographer at the end said, you know what? I got to take a picture of this. So it was I had all the clothing. I'm the one that picked all the clothing. And some of that clothing was personally mine. Probably the stuff I'm wearing is mine. He said, just throw this on. There was nothing. Nobody did anything to me. It was just candid, believe it or not. which
it's a
is
great
great. I
shot.
love those kind of candid.
It's a great classic, beautiful shot. Um,
It
let's
is
see a couple more that we haven't
in the 90s,
in the
early
90s, right?
90s.
And folks, she looks about she looks like about the same age or a year later. Uh, let's see here. This is a
Thank you.
let's see. Let me go to let's go to this picture. Tell me what's going on here, because this is obviously you do a lot of um, pickling and putting stuff up for the winter and stuff. What's this?
Yeah, that's my pantry. I got a lot going on there, but I was really proud of that because I made heirloom tomato everything, heirloom tomato jam, heirloom tomato sauce, sun-dried heirloom tomatoes. Of course, I can't eat them because of my rheumatoid arthritis, but that was years ago when I did that. I gave most of it away. I kept some for my family for the winter to make our, Sunday lentil balls with marinara or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, that's my pantry. I try to do that a couple times in a season where I do like pickles, blueberry jam, poached peaches or pears, the tomatoes, and whatever else I can pickle up or can up. My mother was a big canner because I grew up on a farm. And my mother grew up in the South.
You always got to save things, right?
Yes, and it lasts. And you got to do it right. Everybody, you got to really make sure you do it right. But it's simple process. It's not complicated. You can teach your 5 and 6-year-olds to do it and let them do all the work. Just don't let them touch the hot stuff, but let them do all the preliminary stuff.
No,
it's great.
That looks great. That's something I fell off on, making my hot sauces and things.
Yeah, and your salsa. I'm addicted, Andre. I'm addicted. Those were the days. Yeah.
I gotta. It's gotta happen again.
You should have it on the road with you and have it in a cooler and sell it to the people that need to be munchies at 3 o'clock in the morning.
the ROI is very, very low on that.
Yeah.
Return on investment. But let's go back to some questions before we wrap up. With some pictures and stuff. Sharon had an avocado. Okay, sandwich. Okay, that sounds great. Tofurkey, toasted vegan croissant.
Wow.
Miyoko's cheddar, tofurkey, and an avocado. That's great. Yeah,
love Miyoko's.
Nothing like a good sandwich. There was a band called Let Us Pray. How about that? Raymond asks, difference between keto and paleo. I mean, that's a whole long discussion, but real briefly, paleo is a little more flexible because paleo is like just kind of saying, hey, what did paleo humans eat? So for a lot of paleo people, that's a lot of meat, raw meat, but then a lot of them cheat. They don't really want to eat raw meat like our ancestors did, so they cook it and they have excuses. And I see paleo chocolate cakes and all kinds of stuff, so that gets a little funny. Really, there's paleo mac and cheese and all this stuff. I don't know how that works. But to me, raw foods was paleo. When paleo came along, I had been raw 15 years before that, when paleo repopularized. And I was like, okay, that's what I was doing. Because with raw foods, you're kind of going back to the Paleolithic time, right? You're kind of saying, I don't have, all these things to process food, and you eat, just fresh fruits and vegetables. So they kind of overlap. Raymond, the keto, though, is incredibly strict with very few carbs per day and very high protein. But I'll tell you, the dozen or so people I've known over the years that are on keto, I don't know any one of them that didn't end up with either joint issues, arthritic issues, because you're eating so much animal, acid-forming, kind of really gout-forming foods. I've seen people end up with some gout. Almost everyone with digestive issues, constipation, irritable bowel, different things. So keto, the way modern Western people are doing it, you get thin, which is the goal, but I've never seen anyone without having to take a ton of enzymes or having to take a bunch of stuff to alleviate digestion issues. So I applaud whatever anyone wants to try, but you want to look for things without.
Plant-based keto is really, really good. It's very different. I've been doing it for 6 weeks and I'm living proof. I feel better. I sleep better, except last night I was up late writing. but I feel like I live better, and all the inflammation in my body, I got my blood work back, and my doc said, hey, everything's beautiful. Like, I'm looking at your stuff and it looks like, this could be 30 years ago. Your HDLs, your LDLs, your cholesterol, everything was like perfect. But your RA is 6.7. And a year ago it was 4.7. And it's supposed to be 2.0. So something's going on. So I went on a cleanse for 7 days. I did the master cleanse for 7 straight days. Then I had worked my way up to that master cleanse by doing raw and minimalizing how much I was eating in my intake. So I was ready and prepared, not just shock your body.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in places where I've been guided through the cleanse. So I know how to do it correctly. And not saying that I didn't get a little spacey, I did, but I really honed in on it. And then I went right into, after the cleanse, eating more like this keto plant-based. Since then, I can walk 6 miles. I don't have the pain in my feet like I did before. And if I go back to my doctor now, I bet you if they did the blood work, it's different. And it's only 6 weeks. I feel completely different.
You feel it.
Yeah. I have no joint stuff when I wake up in the morning in my hands, which I normally have. But I was eating a plant-based diet, and you would think it's clean, except that I was eating a little bit of gluten and not
lectins too.
Yes, tons of lectins, lentils and beans and stuff like that, which I'm not supposed to eat anyway. Really, for me, I should be eating chickpeas, lentils, and split peas. Those are the 3. Those are good. And this made me really hone on it. And it's also made me realize that even me, who eats plant-based and eats really clean food, I eat way too much sometimes because it's delicious. But then when you eat this way, you don't need as much and you feel better.
Very true. No, that's when I was eating
I'm
raw,
not doing it forever, but I'm going to keep it very, I'm going to regulate having these things, the intermittent fasting and these kind of foods that I'm eating now that I always ate before, but I combine them with the wrong things.
That's the problem we all have sometimes, just the combining. Yeah. Let's see comments, and then we'll finish with a couple ideas for summer, the rest of the summer. Celine says my mom would live for that dish. I think that was maybe the collard wrap. Yeah, that's awesome. Celine says, and Sharon says Samin Nasrat. Right, that's right. Iranian background, and actually I forgot. Born actually here. She's American. By birth, not just she's born in San Diego, but you're right, Persian, Iranian descent. Great show, by the way, folks, because again, it just reminds you that cooking is chemistry. I know people go, no, it's not, it's art. It's chemistry, okay? Don't be afraid of the word.
Absolutely.
Because you're adding a little more acid, a little more salt. You have to heat something. It'll change state. You steam, you do this. And if you don't want to heat, which I'm an advocate of, then you marinate, right, Laura?
Yes.
Vinegar will do.
It'll cook it.
What cooking is. Heirloom tomatoes, yes, indeed. Oh, Lacey Scher is here. Hey, Lacey.
Hi,
Scher,
Lacey. Happy belated birthday. I meant to get in touch with you.
Her birthday was.
Love you, Lacey. I guess Ginger's still with you.
Lacey just had her birthday, and Lacey, we got to have you on the show again. I'm 1 year into my show, folks, so I can start doing repeats. It's been a blast, and thank you for being part of it. I'll do all that blabbing when Laura has to go in a few, but
Wait, can I say something real quick about Lacey?
Yeah, please.
Lacey, Gail, and I did the master cleanse at Down to Earth, and we could read each other's minds. I bet you she remembers that. We were all working together, and then we could know. Like, I'd look at Lacey, and she's like, I'd look at her, I know exactly what she's going to make without her even telling me, or what music we're going to put on. We're going to listen to Morrissey, or we're going to listen to Prince. And then I would look at her and I would know the answer without even speaking.
It started to be ELP, started to be ESP. Oh,
yeah, ESP.
I said ESP.
Yeah, you did ELP. Yeah.
Well, no, that's awesome. And,
love you, Lacey.
We do love Lacey.
Oh, she's amazing. She's one of my favorite chefs on the planet.
She's great. Oh man, and you're just a great team, but you all have, you're like musicians where you work together, or if you work separately, it's awesome stuff, and everyone brings their own thing to the table. So, so happy belated birthday there. And I see another dear friend has just tuned in and is watching with us. And this is a good moment to plug that this Friday, my interview is with the one and only Dolette McDonald. Look at the beautiful Dolette McDonald.
Wow.
Now this is
Beautiful photo.
it's a great shot. This is a
Yeah.
recent picture, and Dolette's going to be coming on. And Dolette loves the show. She stops by once in a while, and she always reminds me, Andre, I'm not totally plant based, as if I would, somehow be mad. But Dolette is very much plant based. Dolette is kind of, as many of you who come to this show, exactly what I want to see more of. Somebody who just increases and eats real food and eats vegetarian, a bunch of days out of the week, but has something once in a while that's very healthy. Some deep sea fish or some organic chicken or something. But folks, it's about eating fresh fruit every day. It's about understanding that you got to get away from the sodas and the bullshit and the diet stuff that's marked diet or fat-free, any of that nonsense. So Dolette's going to be on. We're going to talk maybe a little bit about food because we both love good food. But we're going to talk about music. This woman is a singer, a composer, a songwriter who has been around the world many times, and a lot of y'all have seen and heard her with all kinds of amazing records that are in your record collection, from Sting or Laurie Anderson, all kinds of amazing Talking Heads records. And she and Janice Pendarvis on so many amazing records that you know. But we're going to talk to her about what she's doing right now. She's been singing jazz. She's been chilling out and just enjoying life and eating good food. And we're going to talk to her on Friday. So make sure you're around for my Make Weird Music performance. Presentation on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So it looks like we lost Laura, but we're gonna bring her back. She's just having some internet stuff happen, but this is perfect timing, perfect segue to just promote a little bit. There's Dolette with Tina Weymouth, right, in the Talking Heads. She did a couple of Talking Heads records, including the epic live album. The name of this band is Talking Heads. She was part of the band, in the early 80s. But so we're going to talk to her Friday. Let's go back to some comments while we get Laura back on. She's just going to wrap up. I know she's got to leave soon. Lacey says, making the marshmallow and fruitcake. Yeah, that's the shit right there. Jerome Parker Wells, what's up, my friend? Vinx did a workshop? Fantastic. Okay, I got to see that. Send me the link, bro. I can just look for it, but if you hook me up, then I'll watch it soon. So Dolette was on Vinx's workshop. And yes, Dolette is this Friday, the 16th, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And you'll see some social media promotion right after this, later on today. So we go to that. All right, so we have Laura here, and I know Laura's got a split in just moments, so we're going to wrap up with her. But what a day of looking at delicious food, and
Josh, I need you for a second.
And making her teenage son crazy.
Josh.
Because
Joshua. Josh.
He's helping mom with
Joshua.
With her
I don't know what happened. My phone died and I had to charge it. Come here, son.
So
come on, I helped you.
Whenever you can hear me, Laura, you're back. And let's put that there. Okay, so she's obviously got to go in a minute, but this has been fun, folks. Just
thank you.
Some
I'm here.
Food.
Sorry about that. I have about 4% left on my phone.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you for shoehorning this into a busy day. I guess you only got a few minutes, I guess, but we'll wrap with a couple more delicious things here, and maybe an inspirational idea for people. But look at this one, folks. Is this a pizza? Let's see. Let me.
Which one?
Sort of a.
That's a pizza.
A pizza, just a A
Just a
handmade
pesto
crust.
pizza with broccoli and tomatoes. Yeah.
Quick. Now, and what is that? A wheat crust or is that a mix of grains or?
That's probably like a multigrain crust. That's one of my clients' meals. That's not one of my meals. That's like what I cook for
Okay,
people that want meals. Yeah.
that's
I
great.
can do it, of course, gluten-free. I could also do it completely plant-based with no flour at all.
Yeah,
Like a
that's fantastic.
zucchini. Everybody's using cauliflower, but people need to try zucchini crust. That's delicious.
Oh, making a flour out of zucchini and
Yes.
wow, that's the next. I mean, yeah, when Green Giant is making cauliflower crust, it's like,
That's
wow,
crazy. Yeah.
we've had an effect here. It's amazing. Any suggestions for people just generally for like, it's now July, like that people are, what are a couple easy things that people can maybe
Gazpacho.
gazpacho, yeah. And that's
Simple.
literally
Yeah.
just I've made it a few times, but fresh tomatoes, cilantro,
Cucumber.
cukes, maybe a little
Mint.
jalapeno.
Mint. You
Mint,
can make,
okay.
listen, you can make, gazpacho doesn't have to be traditional, just like ratatouille doesn't have to be traditional. You
Sure.
can make gazpacho with watermelon and grapes if you want,
Right,
and
right.
red onion. You can make gazpacho with anything that you've got.
That's awesome. No, I haven't
And
had
it
gazpacho
lasts.
in
When you
years.
make it, it lasts a few days because you've got the right elements in it, vinegar and
Right. No, that's
delicious.
I haven't had that in ages.
And you can turn it into a juice if you don't feel like eating it. You could just blend it
Right.
up and drink it.
Just-
And then you got your own plant-based V8, but not in a can.
Yeah, Lacey is reminding us lemon in there and avocado. Put a
Yes.
little bit of avocado, especially as
you,
a nice
Lacey.
garnish. Some
I
little,
love that.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. No, Lacey, let's have you back on the show. As I said,
Yes.
we've been around the planet. We've been around the sun one time, with this show. So now that we're back on the same side of the sun, we can we can repeat some stuff. But I would repeat it anyway. That's just a good reason. That sounds great. Well, I think folks have learned a lot today, Laura. I think
I hope so.
I hope so. And what I've learned and been reinforced is to keep it simple. Just look in your fridge, get 4 or 5 things. Start with something green. Start with, right?
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
What is something you always have in your fridge besides all you got the wonderful vegetables right in your yard and at the farm market? Give us like 3 things that you're like absolutely have to have
That
in
I
your
can't live
fridge.
without in my fridge.
Yeah.
Lemons, miso. Well, right now I'm eating a lot of cucumbers, but that's just me. But you mean this time of year? I would
yeah,
say
sure.
whatever's at the market that looks good, that's green. So whatever you have in your yard that's green. So something green, some lemons and some miso, and you could make something just with that alone.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's.
I mean, I really survived on miso for many years, so I'm a real proponent of miso.
Yeah, can't beat it. I've been
And,
craving it actually.
If I had to only, 3 things are hard, Andre. Mushrooms would go in there too.
Yeah,
So,
we always have some mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
At least dried ones year round. But no, you miso. I've been ignoring the call of miso lately. I've been like 2 or 3 days in a row.
Me too. Me too. I haven't made any.
Miso. But you know what? I'm gonna make some miso right after we're done here because I've got some cooked kale, some
Nice.
charred.
And you can make a dressing, miso dressing.
I can, yeah. I feel like a bowl of soup though. I'm just gonna, even though it's hot, I'm gonna go sit outside with a hot bowl.
Yeah,
of
I
soup.
kind of feel like that too.
10 minutes, boil the water.
I'm gonna make cantaloupe soup because you can eat cantaloupe, right? But you have to eat it by itself and have this beautiful like orange cantaloupe. I'm just gonna blend that up and put mint in it. There's my drink for the night.
That's great. So
and I'll have a salad
simple.
and I'm done. I've eaten enough for today. Little picking here. I eat about 4 or 5 meals a day, small.
Right. I'm a
Very
big
small.
advocate of that. Parsley, parsley and cilantro in there. Yep.
Yeah, parsley, flat leaf, especially flat leaf.
Celine says V8 tastes like tomato soup. Yeah, you know, grab a V8. You know, people make fun of V8, but if you're going to a meeting or something and or you're traveling and you stop in one of these quick stores, grab a V8 instead of a soda or even an iced tea with sugar in it.
I do want to
V8's
mention this
fine.
though.
Yeah, V8's fine. Go ahead.
Because you brought that up, stop in the store. When I was driving back with Josh from taking him to oral surgery, we were down in Barnegat, and I stopped at a 7-Eleven. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can get him a naked, you know, because he's coming off of anesthesia and he needs some liquid. So I go in and I'm in the 7-Eleven in Barnegat, of all places. And they have this refrigerator. I'm not exaggerating. I took pictures of it. I have this. It is filled, the whole refrigerator. And I mean, it's like 3 feet wide and whatever, how tall those refrigerators, those reach-ins are. And it's all plant-based.
Wow.
I have some of the things here. I have them in my fridge right now. I mean, besides having like Ripple, which, you know, that's not a big deal. They had these other great drinks with like maca in it.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. And
I was
kombucha,
like, wow.
right? Probably 4 types of kombucha.
Tons, but I mean, way more than that.
Yeah.
So many plant-based different kinds of drinks and clean ones with no sugar and no garbage in it. I was like, wow, stuff in glass and whatnot.
Yes.
Like, well, this is awesome.
7-Eleven, which I don't have around here.
Mine here doesn't have that.
I was in California one time, but 7-Eleven has a little in glass. That's most of what you've seen. 7-Eleven has these 3 drinks. One's spirulina, the other one's I don't know. It's got
the one I got for Josh has
spirulina or
spirulina.
something.
Yeah, was it in a metal container?
No, these were all glass, which was amazing.
This place, they had both. They had some in metal and some in glass, but they had some serious, and the prices were reasonable, like under $3, under $3 for a great drink. I was like, this is great.
No, I'm kind of amazed that 7-Eleven has these.
They need to up their game in Monmouth County because they don't have that here.
Yeah, I saw them out west, and there was 3 different. But that's great. That on that note of companies jumping into stuff, I'll share this. I was gonna put this on later on, but I will let you see this if you haven't already. We always talk about these companies that are slowly getting into this. Have you seen this?
Oh, right. Yes, I've seen that.
Can you believe
that's
that?
in my local food town. Yes.
Folks, that's crazy. And not just one. They've really jumped in. They've got a cookies and cream, chocolate chip, a mint chocolate chip. Now, I'm not a huge ice cream person, period, but I have it once in a blue moon. Yeah, I like it. I like to try these. If they do a pint, I would try one. I'm not about to go buy a big thing of ice cream, but I applaud them as I applaud all these companies that are listening. You know.
Yeah.
People are funny though. I love the backlash. I already showed it to one person who said, "I'm not buying Breyers," and you kind of go, you can't win because 20 years ago you bitched and cried and moaned that, oh, why don't companies make something vegetarian? Now they do. The same people
and now
say,
you're still mad.
Yeah, I love it. I am all in. I think it's
people,
awesome.
No matter what, you might not be able to please.
Well, there you go. There's a personality problem there, but that's a whole other thing. But no, I think it's great. Am I saying that we go out and live on Breyers? No, I'm not. I'm saying
some people might disagree.
Right. I'm saying for not only vegans, but for parents who have severely allergic children. I say severely because really there's not a child that isn't to some degree allergic to dairy. Very few humans have genetically have lactase and have the digestive capacity. But let's see if they have ingredients.
All right.
But anyway, regardless, this is great for not only vegans, vegetarians, but people, religious people who might not be able to have dairy because they've had flesh at that meal or they're fasting or whatever it might be. So I think it's really cool. And it's kosher. Look at that. Kosher, non-dairy, almond milk. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's put him to the test and see if it's clean as well. Oh, here it is. Okay. Almond milk, liquid sugar, which is sugar and water, coconut oil, corn syrup solids. A couple points off for that. But not bad. Pea protein. That's it. Very simple. Only thing I can slightly complain about is the corn syrup solids, which isn't even that bad. I mean, you're having a fucking dessert, folks.
Tower Hill, but I'll give you the
Anyway,
address in a minute.
So anyway, just wrapping with our mutual excitement that the big food corporate world is certainly listening, and Laura's been here for that whole journey, right? I mean,
Yeah, I've seen
you
a lot of
started-
changes.
I mean, we were there around the same time, and how exciting to even have Cliff Bars. Remember when Cliff Bars?
Oh
came
gosh,
out?
yeah.
And it was like, wow, a little snack bar that's not like a power bar with all kinds of artificial things, and it's plant-based. Wow, it blew our minds. Little did we know that, because Cliff Bars was one of the real first ones out of the box. So that's awesome. So let's see. Boy, a lot of great comments there. Well, I can come back to the comments later, but unless there's something direct.
Yeah, and I will too. I'm not going to be able to do it right away, but later when I get back from that appointment, I'll go through and if anybody has any questions for me, but you could also email me. I think
Right,
Andre,
people can email
feel free
her.
to email me, Facebook me, go on my Oh My Pie, which is very limited right now because I haven't done anything with it, but
And what email address should they use? The plant-based?
yeah, plant-based pastry chef at Gmail. Yes, that's my main. That's how Celine and I talk all the time. Well, for several days.
Plant-based pastry
Celine.
chef. Plant-based pastry chef at Gmail. There it is.
Gmail, yeah. Thanks for that. I'd love to hear from everybody. I really like
And,
writing to people. I like answering questions and engaging with their ideas and how I could help them. So
Yes,
wherever
and
you are in the world, that's great.
there she is. Be a pen pal with Laura Dardi.
Yeah,
Get some
I could use some pen
recipes,
pals
Get some
for sure.
get some hints. But I was Celine. I was just saying, yeah, get V8 when I'm on the road touring. I run it, the spicy V8. It's pretty good, and people turn their nose up, but in a pinch, it's a quick little.
It's there.
thing you
Yeah,
can
I
have
have me on wait, Mom. I'm gonna call.
with
Okay.
vitamins. So Lacey says watermelon and peaches for me all the way. Right, for summertime right
Oh,
now.
I love that.
Lacey also says
Peaches.
corn with lime, espelete, chile, and Miyoko's butter.
Wow.
We've been getting corn in our weekly. We got a food box every Friday. It's called the CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. It's awesome. No packaging. We have a box that's recyclable. We use it for a few things, and that's it. And in that box, kale, chard, lettuce, things like that. So that's another thing. I'm always inspired by Laura. Get the fresh produce, put it in front of you, because that will be your inspiration. You're going to go, I got to find something to make with this, right? So I love that she shared a bunch of ideas with us. Can you hear us, Laura? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
I
great.
am.
Awesome.
I am going to have to jump now.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Is there a closing statement that you want to leave with the folks?
Yeah, I'm grateful for everybody that tuned in, and I want to say, like, it's summer now, and so wherever you are, just find the things that are local and keep it really simple, like what Andre said earlier. But mainly, try it just one day a week. Change it up. Don't make it difficult. You don't have to have 5 pots on the stove. You just need a blender and a knife. No, you don't even need a blender, really. You could just do it with a knife.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, be
Like-
creative and keep it simple and keep it fresh. That's the most important thing, fresh. As
That's
close as you
awesome.
can get it to your own where you are,
That's awesome, folks. Well, like Frank Zappa used to say, let's hear for another great Italian. and let's and native, but let's hear it for another great Italian vegetarian chef like Leonardo da Vinci. Laura is upholding a thousands-year-old tradition of great plant-based food and creativity and inventing little techniques and that's what it's about, the creativity and the making it look fun and cool. And I think she just made us all hungry with some of these recipes today. Well, thank you, Laura.
Yeah, my
Well,
pleasure. Thank you,
I know
man.
you got to
I
run.
appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Of course. Let's do this again anytime you want to come on, and we're gonna get Lacey up on the show soon,
Great. Tell me
and
when it is. I want to make sure I tune in.
because she's got the crazy garden too at her mom's place. But yeah. So all right. Well, safe travels. Say hi to
Thank
Frankie.
you. I will.
Just hit exit or leave
I
or
will.
whatever it says, and we'll
Thanks,
talk
Trey.
soon. Love you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Love you too. Bye.
Um, so cool, folks. Thank you all for being here, and I'm just gonna wrap shortly as well. Let's see. There we go. But let's see if there's some other comments, questions, diatribes, discussions. I wish we had some corn right now, Lace. I've been loving corn. I love corn raw. I mean, it's when it's fresh and good. Nothing like good raw corn. But I steam it also, and I did some the other day and just got some olive oil and salt. But that's a good idea. The espelette chile. I've never heard of that actually. Espelette chile, but it sounds like lime and chili together. Sounds good to me. Miso with Miyoko's. Shisho and lime tamari. That all sounds great. So simple, right? 3-4 ingredients. People are freaking out like they don't get it. Umami. Just get some. You get some miso or ume plum in there with some fat, some tahini or sesame oil, olive oil. You're done. We had some lunch earlier. I should have taken a picture of our lunch. We had Robin and I. We had some raw sauerkraut, some amazing sauerkraut we've been getting from. I had the company here last week. Forget what's called, brine something. Wild Brine had their delicious raw sauerkraut, as sauerkraut always should be, folks. Don't waste your time with pasteurized sauerkraut or canned sauerkraut, please. Better than nothing because you're getting some fiber, some cabbage, right? But it's 90% of what's awesome about sauerkraut is the enzymes, the incredible living microorganisms and things that are great for your digestion. Which I want to close with talking about digestion in an article I just read. But we just had some sauerkraut, some pickled beets, delicious, and some steamed kale, and then I just dressed it with just a few drops of sesame oil, which you don't need much to just give it that smoky sesame flavor. A little sesame oil, some sesame seeds, and a little dash of tamari on the whole. Oh, so good. Raw, mostly raw except for the steamed kale, but just so satisfying. And you got protein, vitamins, minerals, fiber galore. Some essential fats that are good. Just so simple, folks. 3 or 4 things put together. So just maybe that's the message today, to think simple and to know that nature's got it for you. Just you combine 3 or 4 smart bits of plants, whether it's some kale and arugula, a nice little tahini dressing you whip up with tahini, lemon juice or vinegar, a pinch of black pepper, cayenne maybe. Macerate some garlic into there if you like, or just anything, but that little base of tahini with the vinegar, ume plum vinegar, apple cider vinegar, Heinz vinegar if that's all you have, lemon juice, but tahini, a little salt, again, salt, fat, heat, it's just chemistry. But if you just chop up some kale and something else green, I like to mix kale, romaine lettuce or arugula or something, that little tahini dressing that takes you 45 seconds to make. And then some protein, a little handful. sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, anything a little denser. But again, what am I talking about? 4 or 5 ingredients, and you've got the whole spectrum there, right? Fats, minerals, vitamins, protein, fiber, enzymes, just all the stuff that you keep reading about. It's right there. It's so easy. And I love that Laura encourages that. Celine says Ben and Jerry's has a non-dairy, which is cool. That's awesome. Yes, I've had it once or twice. One of them I liked, and one of them was just overly sweet to me. But again, I'm not a huge ice cream person, but I like it. Yeah, just once in a while. Dairy Daily Harvest ice cream. Okay, I don't know about that company, but okay. Celine says a friend would take a pill. She didn't have a reaction to dairy. Okay. To each their own. I don't understand that. Like, if you have to take a pill to eat something, like the guy on you, right? That viral guy. If you have to take a pill before you eat something, then don't eat that thing. Sorry, I'm that guy. I'm gonna, It's 2021. There isn't a dairy product that there's not a really incredible substitute for, replacement, simulacrum, whatever you want to call it. And I know there's people going to roll their eyes, or you have friends that do. Point out to them that 800 years ago, or almost 700 years ago, in the 1300s, people were using almonds and almond milk in place of dairy because of a seasonal. You couldn't, you had to eat in season, and many times, whether the cows weren't producing or it's the middle of the winter, you didn't have, and then the cost of it. And so almonds became this popular nut to mash and macerate and cook down with water and make soup stocks and cheeses, actually, and using them in all kinds of replacement recipes. It's something that I've brought up so many times on this show. I'm going to look for it right now and share the link again. But I always like to point out that it's nothing new to kind of look at some of these food ideas and say that they're not modern. They're not something that we came up with. Some are, of course. There's lots of modern inventions, but lots of these simple ideas, like using, when you have a mushroom, for instance, that's called chicken of the woods, because it's a mushroom, it grows in the woods, and when you look at it and tear it apart, wow, it's got this fibrous texture that reminded people of chicken, so they call it chicken of the woods ages ago. It happens to be a good food. Mushrooms are an incredible food, right? They're a fungus. They're a whole family, a whole different, branch in biology. They're actually not plants. They're fungus. But they are incredible in human food for millennia. And but the point is, someone said, "Oh, good, we can use this instead of chicken because it's got the textural thing." Just to put this in the chat again. This is just one article. There's about 10 articles here about the Middle Ages when they used almonds. Now, again, there was an economic thing. This was the upper class, but medieval chefs were using almonds to do different things. So today, it's people who are lactose intolerant, or they're vegetarian, vegan, whatever. But here's a recipe for blamage, which has almond milk. And sometimes it's because of Lent. So as I said before, there's all these religious reasons. But sometimes it was just, availability. Now, I'm not saying that they were vegans in the 1300s. I'm not saying, some people were, but I'm not saying that was behind this. I'm saying that they integrated, instead of a dairy source, they integrated, almond So just to point out that it's nothing new. This isn't like some, um, completely modern thing. Um, I'm going to put that in the chat then. Here we go. Let's see. And some of you have seen this article before. I like this article. It's also, just a fun website that talks about a lot of stuff in ancient history. So there you go. You can take a look at that. Let's see. Pastry, my weakness. Yeah, all of us. Celine says there isn't any V8 here on the American base. Okay, yeah, wasn't. I wasn't keyed into that you were talking about there, but yes, that V8 is in a lot of places, but yeah, you can't find any. But again, you can find what we can't as much here is some of those open markets in Turkey, where you could just get a lot of these fruits and vegetables. Let's see. Let me go through some more of your comments and questions. A whole bunch of them just came up. Okay, so I lost it. Oh yeah, here it is. So many windows open, folks. So little time. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, check out my Patreon, folks. The link is up at the top. I'll put it again. Fresh corn grits. Yes. Jerome, thank you, because I'd be talking to myself if y'all weren't here. You don't like mushrooms, Celine? Okay, yeah, that's okay. They're definitely an acquired taste. Not everyone goes for mushrooms. You like them, they got to be mixed into something. Which is easy to do. I love mushrooms in a soup. Love them. I'm about to have some miso soup, and I'm gonna have. I've got some marinated mushrooms, which we didn't make. We got them from Whole Foods, but that kind of stuff's perfect to just put on your salad or repurpose. So I'm going to repurpose in some miso soup. And I also steamed some kale and some collards, and I got some fresh scallions and nothing from the garden quite yet, but there's a bunch of hot peppers coming down the pike and some lettuces. We got some celery growing. We got some fun stuff. So I'll see if I can get a little bit of something to put in the soup. But it's a little early in the season. Lacey, love you too. Have fun, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you on the show. Celine, so yeah, I really want to support your venture here because you're jumping in, you're trying to do it. You said you're in Ankara, and I would say go to I'll just put it up here. Go to happycow.net, which is a source for vegetarian restaurants. But here is, I just pulled it up. 10 best vegan restaurants in Ankara, 10 best vegetarian restaurants in Ankara. So, there's Veg Anka, wherever that is. I don't know what part you live in Ankara, but I just punched in Ankara vegetarian restaurant, and I know it might be way on the other side of town. It may be hard for you to get to, but I want to encourage you and know that all is not lost, and you will find it'll just a door is going to open for you because you're in a part of the world where vegetarianism comes from, right? That whole swath of Asia is where really a lot of these ideas were developed all the way from Japan in the east all the way across China, India, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, all the countries, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Iran, Iraq, Persia, all the stands. Whenever I look at vegetarian history, it's coming out of Buddhist, Hindu, and Islam early on, all those religions, and Christianity too. One of the interesting things about all these religions, they all have something about not killing. Ahimsa it's termed, in some languages, compassion in other languages, The lion shall lie with the lamb, that kind of thing. That's a whole other area. Which one of these days I should do it. One of these days where I'm just talking about religion and vegetarianism, because there was a guy named, I think, Rin Berry, back in the 90s. He wrote a book looking at all the religions and how they all, at some point, encourage the non-slaughtering of animals. Everyone has gone off on their own path, but there's a real thing there. My point being that you live in a part of the world where there's millennia of plant-based food. So I know that it's a challenge for you right now, and I'm being compassionate. I'm not telling you, oh, it's easy, but I'm telling you that let's help you find some ways that you can get this into your life. But that's one thing you might be able to do. Go to happycow.net, which is what I'm on right here, and just, here's vegan Mediterranean salad bar, juice bar. This one's called Gabo Kitchen. There's another one called Gourmet Phil. Probably saying that wrong. They have all kinds of, that one looks like it's 100% vegan. Here's one called Junk Vegan. Vegan junk food, which is fun. Terra Cafe and Mutfak. Wow, that's vegan, Japanese, Western, and Turkish. What a nice mix. What a delicious looking. That looks like my lunch right there. So they have all kinds of fun. Looks like some traditional Turkish foods, some outdoor seating, some kind of a veggie burger. Yeah, this is spot on. This is the thing. I travel so much. I go and I find these kind of places in Santiago, Chile, or Mexico City, or London, Berlin, Tokyo. It's about just, you get into a zone. I think I take it for granted, but you get into a zone. Turks forgot. A lot of Turks love the meat. Yeah, absolutely. And nothing in what I'm saying denies that, for sure. I'm not saying, oh, the Turks are vegetarians. Not at all. But at the base of these cultures, whether it's Turkish or Indian or so many others in Asia, parts of China are heavily pork. Other ones are other types of animal, and other types are much more plant-based. So it's a mix, but all Chinese cuisine that I've looked at has those dozen vegetables that we always look at, and we know things like the family of bok choy and greens and cabbages and scallions and leeks and things like that, and various grains, the types of rices, and then types of squashes and types of soybeans. There's hundreds of types of soybeans. We tend to see the one or two, but there's really all these varieties, right? And you go across China, and they're using all these foods, and they're using a variety of something very similar to miso, but they're using, with their meat and their fish dishes, with their flesh dishes, there's always a rich amount of vegetable food. And the Chinese Buddhists were at the forefront of developing a lot of the ideas that we still talk about, things like seitan and things you could do with mushrooms and all kinds of stuff. So, best of luck in your search to find the part of Turkish culture where very plant-based, and where you can find some great recipes. And I'm here for you. You can always private message, and I can point you to some things. Yes, as you say, the younger generations are integrating it more. Absolutely. I had a chef on from Nigeria here like months ago, and he said that. He said, oh my God, similar thing. He said in Nigerians, as they've become affluent, right? It's an oil-rich country. Everyone wants some meat on their plate, right? Even though they grew up eating these yams and these root vegetables and these provisions, as they call them, and these real basic things that that are plant-based, and they only once in a while would afford some meat, right? Once or twice a week. But it was more eggs and maybe little bits of dairy, but not so much, but eggs, fish, dried fish, things like that. And he said nowadays that Nigeria is so affluent, everyone's going to affluent, relatively speaking, right? Because they got all the oil money. But pretty stable nation. Keep an eye on Nigeria. Nigeria is the bomb, man. I mean, relatively stable. They've had some ups and downs, but who are we to speak anymore, right? We had people almost topple our election process, armed maniacs, right? So I don't know. It just feels funny to talk about unstable countries anymore when yeah, I haven't seen anyone lately in Argentina storm the Capitol and try to stop an election. It's amazing how we just breeze past that. But a lot of us don't. But Nigeria is the most populous nation in Africa, and I think it's fifth or sixth or seventh most populous nation on Earth. It's right behind the USA. We're 300 and some million. They're I don't know, 230, 250, something. We can look that up. I think it's 220 million, but it's one of the most populous places on Earth. As I said, in the top 10 countries, and very close, creeping up on us. What did I say? 225 off the top of my head. It's 211,000. 211 million. So I was close, but on the order of, and my guess is it's about the sixth most populous on Earth. I'm going to say sixth or seventh. Let's see. I know it's India, China, India, USA, and then it goes from there. Pakistan's pretty high too. Let's look it up. Let's test my memory here. Okay, top ones: China, India, USA. Yeah, what did I say? And then Pakistan's number 5, Indonesia number 4, and there it is, Nigeria number 6. So crazy, and that's of July 1st. People don't think of that, right? As Nigeria being, number 6 and with a bullet. They're catching up. Their population is expanding very quickly. My point there is it's about the food and about the fact that as this nation changes, they have all this vegetarian culture that it's embedded. But now people have money. They want to have some meat. They have some beef, some pork. I've arrived. Let me have some beef. And suddenly gout is going up in your country. Suddenly heart disease and strokes and heart attacks. Suddenly people are getting stents and all kinds of health problems. You can be real cynical and say, that's just what the powers that be want, right? But, I'm not going to be too cynical today. But let's, this is a difficult chart to, I see, yeah. I'm going to put this little, if I can I have to edit this chart because it's a little 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right, there we go. It's a little out of order, folks. Actually, let me see if I can fix this for you before I post it. But this is fun. Okay, this is a pretty useful chart. I'm about to just bear with me as I do some live production. Indonesia with 275 million people. Man, Indonesia's going through hell right now, right? Are you all checking that out? Jeez. Their numbers, if you believe this is real, their numbers are staggering. But it's all fake, it says 2 or 3 of my friends. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Number 9 is Russia. How about that? Number 10 is Mexico. Okay, great, folks. There you have it. I will put up the top 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. Top 10 most populous countries. Jerome, yes, as I was saying, yeah, chicken's always there, and and eggs, and the poorer you get, the less chicken, the more eggs, right? Because hey, if you got a couple chickens in the middle of Nigeria or whatever country, in the middle of Mississippi, you tend to say, well, let's save that chicken for a big, for the big meal, the big celebratory meal or whatever. But we can eat chicken, we can eat eggs every day. But this gentleman who I had on said, "Oh man, they're going to so much beef now," and of course, Nigeria is facing the environmental issues of that. Right? Suddenly, you have these big corporate animal farming things starting from scratch. So, on the other side, there is a movement. There's an environmental movement. There's a vegetarian movement, small, but this guy is great. He's tapped into it, and he has this very successful vegan restaurant in where was he, in Lagos? I forget, but we should have him on again to update us. Jerome, I don't know if you were checking the show out then, but I should send you some links. This guy's amazing. Robin's here. Hey, lots of human rights atrocities, she says, just like us. Was that talking about Turkey probably, right? Or somewhere, Nigeria. Yeah. Yep, there's always. It's tough out there, folks. The difference is these countries aren't saying they're the greatest in the world. See? There, I said it. And that's the difference. It's about that walking around saying you're number one stuff. In Nigeria, right, yes, they had some bad situations recently with some police shit, and then they've got the Boko Haram and all that. Not a paradise, not by a long shot. I'm not saying that, but a couple little things that we should keep on the on the discussion chart. All right, I'm gonna wrap up. Jerome is great because he always makes me think and he keeps me honest. Comparing Nigeria to the U.S. is disingenuous. Well, we could compare any two things. It's about what I'm trying to say. Am I comparing them? Not really. I'm not putting like apples kind of comparison. And I only bring up the U.S. to say that we should stop saying we're number one, because Nigeria didn't have people storm the Capitol and try to stop an election. I mean, they have in the past, and we've called it a banana republic when it does, right? so that's all. But yeah, you saying I'm comparing Nigeria to the U.S. is disingenuous, because I'm not. I'm just bringing it up as a relative thing. Of course, there's oceans of difference in freedom to move around and freedom for all kinds of groups of people, and there's a million differences. I know that, but so that's disingenuous. But yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Nigeria because it's the most populous African nation. Would love to go one day. There's a lot of music, a lot of people traveling there for music. You should go. Keep an eye on it because it's such a populous nation, and we need it to succeed, right? Because it's one of the biggest economies in Africa and actually in the world. It's in the top, however number, top 20 economies or whatever. It's up there. So comments about human rights atrocities. Yeah. Again, long story there. There's people who would argue we do more because our atrocities are across the world. We're pulling them off in Gitmo, and we're funding stuff in Colombia. We're funding things in Southeast Asia and all around Africa. Nigeria has their mess right in Nigeria. So we could go all day on that, and I think you're pretty dialed in on criticism of American imperialism. But we certainly go out and support a lot of human rights atrocities around the world. Have I addressed foraging? Not directly, but just spending some time doing it. And I've been on some foraging walks with like raw foods people and going in the woods and teaching us edible greens and edible berries and things like that. But I haven't really gotten through a long thing about it other than saying that humans did a ton more of just being migratory in early human life. And so just we picked things. We ate what was in an area. Then we moved because of seasons and weather. There's way smarter people than me that have written books about this, about humans and the change in human life when we started staying in one spot, right? And developing agriculture. So there's Michael Pollan touches on that. I think he's great. He gets into some of that stuff too, about how humans ate differently for millennia. And foraging was a big part of that. So the military tried overthrowing the government in Turkey. Yes, exactly. The military tries to overthrow the government in lots of places, right? A couple places in South America, a couple places in Asia. Again, the difference is none of those countries then try to say that they're the greatest in the world and the seat of democracy. That's all. I just want us to stop saying that. But I know I'm pissing in the wind there. Jerome says, "Sure, spent more time in Nigeria than Robin." Yeah, and I've never been under the threats and security. That sounds argumentative. Like no one's saying they spent more time in Nigeria than you, bro. But but you've never been under the threats and insecurities here in the U.S. We agree. Looks like you're looking for places we don't agree. I think Robin was just saying there was some unrest there pretty recently, right? With I remember seeing some video of it, and we were all concerned. It calmed down a lot quicker than it could have, but it's a fact that yeah, there's some unrest there, but I'd be happy to go there, as I've said, and agreed. I guess again we're on the same page where no one ever talks about the threat and insecurity of being in the U.S. Right? It's talked about as if it's the U.S. Everything's fine now, and as we've talked about for years, holy shit, what a place, especially for brown and black people who are continually, we are forced to kind of look over our shoulders, in figuratively and realistically. So. More on that later. We'll do a political chat sometime soon. And you're welcome to come back on the show anytime. We can do an all world politics show where we talk about places we've been. But we can start with my thesis, which is doesn't even bug me when other places have fucked up shit, because they're not saying that they're the best in the world. That's all I want. I'm hung up on that. Those countries at least admit, yeah, we're fucked up. We've had dictators. We've had this and that. It's a mess here. Would you like a cup of tea? It's about the pomposity that to me stops our discussions here. Henry Louis Gates. Okay, wow. Okay. New episode. Finding Your Roots. Okay. I love that. I dig that guy. And Patty Langan Alvarez is here. Hey, Patty says, I love you, Laura. Patty, well, I love you. I love you too. Yeah. And Patty was supposed to come on my show, last year. We were going to talk about yoga and stuff. Patty, to that point, who won the election? Let's talk, my friend. I love talking to friends who I disagree with a little bit on this. Hopefully you are online with who really won the election, and you're not one of the people saying that the other guy won. But would love to talk about that. And talk about natural food and yoga and all that stuff too. But it's all intertwined, right? Because one of our most free things is to grow our own food, which that's what I try to stick with here. Just try to tell people, grow a little food, because then you're kind of free from, one of the most inspiring things that Laura reminded me today is we need to grow some kale around here. We have people around the corner who grow looks like enough kale for an army, and they're not cutting it. It drives us crazy. We walk past this house about a half mile up, and there's kale, there's chard, there's all this amazing stuff. Not a bug bite. Beautiful, sunny part of their front yard, and they don't eat any of it. And we're going like, oh, let's come back tonight with a knife. But we need to, we wouldn't do that. But we need to grow some more because, as Laura pointed out, when you have kale in the backyard, you can just cut a little bit and it'll keep growing. To that point, people often make of, well, you kill, you're killing plants too. Sometimes you're just picking from the plant and letting it grow, so it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, Patty, let's have you come on and talk about yoga and juicing, and maybe we'll do a little Red Bank reunion. We got a bunch of Red Bank people here today. Depends on the country. Yes, of course. We can go case by case for all those things. Patty, yes, I'm sure we agree on more than we think. I'm busting your chops, but as always, my friend, I always know that we agree on, 90-some%, which is what's important. But that makes the other 10% fun. Gates' profile, Alejandro Gonzalez. I don't know what that means. Marina Abramovic, I know. Okay. Henry Louis Gates is, right. For a minute I thought it was the conspiracy Gates. And I was like, what's going on here? So, all right, folks, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to end with my reptile glasses. How do those look on camera? I got these years ago. And they're strange, right? Can you see the reptile eyes? A little bit of what's the guy's name? Terrence McKenna. No, not Terrence McKenna. David Icke has that whole crazy reptilian thing. So we end on a David Icke note. Thanks so much. I'll put my Venmo up because I always forget. And yeah, Patty, wasn't Laura awesome guest? She's always so inspiring. And you've eaten her food many times back in New Jersey. All right. I'm going to put my Venmo here, folks. Thank you so much to throw something into my my little tin. I have a tin cup. I'm on the street talking about plant-based food and, spirulina and vegetarianism. I didn't get into the digestion thing. You know what? I'll focus on that next week. But I read a really fascinating article. I got to really make sure I save that. I read so much of these science articles, and I think it was in Vanity Fair, of all places. Maybe it was the New Yorker. But fascinating article about digestion and just some new discoveries. They weren't really that new to me, actually. But I love that they're being popularized. But it was basically talking about why Americans and Western people have such bad digestion happening. And talking about fermented foods, right? And talking about sauerkraut, kimchi, and yogurt, quote unquote. And I always put quotes because people love to toss around yogurt as this really good, healthy food. But it's not unless it's raw. You know what I mean? So again, I'm rapping here, but to give you something to think about, when people invoke the really healthy stuff about yogurt, which would be the microbiology of yogurt, right? The microorganisms, the whatever it is, whether it's bifidus or acidophilus at the most basic level, hundreds, thousands of other microorganisms that exist. What they're talking about, the history they're talking about, is one that involves raw milk. Okay? Going back to those Dannon commercials 45 years ago, they showed those healthy Russian people running up the steps with a PES. And, oh, yogurt. This is Sergei Ilamenov, and he's 103, and his wife, Anita, is 105, and they eat yogurt. That was kind of the shtick. Never mind that they eat other high mineralized foods, and they're walking up and down, hills, and they live, 10,000 feet above sea level, and they eat mostly raw, and it's all organic, and there's 100 other data points there. But the yogurt, which they got from a milk from a ewe or some kind of a yak or a goat of some sort, mountain goat, they got the milk. It was raw. They got it right out of that animal. It had all kinds of bacteria in it that we would freak out about, but it's very natural. And they would let it sit at room temperature, and they would add either a fermenting agent, yesterday's yogurt, or a bit of some other food that they know ferments the milk. And they would let it turn, basically, for a day or two. And so they would eat that, and every spoonful of that stuff is teeming with life, teeming with bacteriological good stuff to digest. And it was also breaking down the lactose. It was breaking down the milk on a number of levels, breaking down the proteins. And so you couldn't have a more, it's like from another planet. What you're getting, even at Whole Foods, it says organic and all the fancy. It's dessert. But enjoy it. Dessert's a great thing. But don't tell yourself that, it's giving you these functionality. Now, you can buy raw milk, and I know a lot of people have that available to them, especially where there's Amish people around and other groups, and there's a long fight in California for labeling it and things like that. But please find it, but even before that, you could find raw, organic sauerkraut and kimchi and pickles and umeboshi plums, and you can do all these things for those of you who want to work on your digestion. We've got to have digestive health if we want to optimize the rest of our health. And I've worked with people for decades now that struggle, and they're taking all kinds of things, this pill, that. I'm talking vegans, vegetarians, keto people on the zone, people on the Atkins diet, people on paleo, people that are macrobiotic, people that are omnivores, people that are pescatarians, people that are on the grapefruit diet, whatever diet you can throw at me. I've seen them all. I'm not being cynical. I'm just saying tens of thousands of customers over nearly a 20-year period behind that counter and ordering food for special diets for people. I'll tell you, that's such a commonality, this digestion idea. And I am going to make that the focus next week. I'm going to find this article and share it with people. But all the diets I just named, some people thrived on whatever they were trying, and we saw that. But the people who would stall out, it often was digestive component. They were, we talk about acid alkaline all the time here. They had pushed themselves way into more of an acidic state than is optimal. They're eating too much processed sugars or processed grains. A lot of plant-based foods can really fuck you up if the quality's no good. The fats and processed grains and too many grains. Too much white flour is pretty much problem number one with the American diet. There, I said it. White flour all day long. In that muffin, in that roll, in that bagel, in that sandwich. at lunchtime, in that pasta, in that cookie treat, in that, you know, white flour, white flour, white flour, white flour. It's everywhere. So that's kind of the number one, to kind of at least move it over to whole grain flour. At least you make a little step, but that can still be a problem for people. And then on the other side of the spectrum, almost nothing raw and fermented in the American diet. Wow, it's horrific. I mean, most Americans encounter a pickle with that sandwich, right? You have a nice sandwich. There's the pickle. It's almost decoration for some people. I see people throw it away, and those aren't even great pickles. They're usually pasteurized. But that's about the only time Americans encounter fermentation. If we're lucky, on a salad, it might be some red wine vinegar, might be some, of course, Americans drink wine, which is a great food and a great fermented food. Americans eat things like relishes and other pickles as condiments sometimes. But that really serious dose of fermented food that you see around the world, really, you see in different African cultures, different Asian cultures, different South American cultures, across Europe. That's the funny part. The Europeans who came here, I don't know, many of them broke apart a lot of the traditional foods. But if you have a background in Europe, there's a lot of pickled food. There's a lot of just about every vegetable gets put up and pickled. So we have snatches of that left in American culture. Absolutely. Tons of people, especially in the South, they pickle okras, they pickle tomatoes, they pickle cukes that we're most familiar with. They pickled asparagus, they pickled all kinds of things, leeks, everything really. So I'll leave you with that. Whatever you can do to get some pickles and some vinegar and kimchi, any of these things that you can find. Let's see. All right, and let's see. Did I miss any questions? Used to go hologram necklace. That's great. Venmo. Yes, my first name is Hugh. That's why in PayPal it's there. Did I mention banning salmon? No, I didn't. Thank you, Robin. Argentina has banned salmon factory farming. And Celine says also too much fried food in the American diet. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, this is great news. That Argentina, and they're talking about the kind of, mechanized, these giant ships that go out and just lay waste to huge parts of the ocean because they're catching everything, right? Turtles, dolphins and other species that they're not trying to get. So it's Tierra del Fuego province, which is part of. Let's put that up. Here it is. Tierra del Fuego province is bans salmon farming in open net pens. They want me to. Oh, jeez, I hate these cookies, endless cookies. But yeah, look at this. This is awesome. The legislature has approved a bill banning salmon farming in open net pens. So there we have it in the Buenos Aires Times. Fortunately, they have an English language page here. Argentina is the first country to pronounce itself against the intensive fishing industry practice known as open net pen fishing. I love it. And I love Argentina. We say, half kidding, every day that Argentina's our next home. But beautiful place, and I love that they're making this step. Again, I'm not recasting this. I'm not saying that the Argentinians are now vegans. No, but they're aware of their environmental surroundings. They're aware that there's some real problems doing it at the level that corporations want them to do it. And they're aware that as a society we can take legislative steps, to figure out a way to solve things. Yeah. So, all right. So I guess they've got the America's Cup coming up also. So that's we know Italy just won Europe Cup. So there we have it for you football fans. All right. Well, I'm going to hang up now. As any grandpa would say, it's time to hang up the Zoom. Where's the hang up button that we have on our phones? All right, folks. See you next week. Gonna have some miso soup. Stay plant-based.